gentlemen, yes, it is Monday, July the 27th, 2020, 7:07 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm Dave McRae, coming to you live from the VoiceMann Studios in Toronto, Canada. He's Tony Michael, coming to you from the Tony Two Times Studios in Atlanta, Georgia. This is episode
More like
80.
Hellanta, Georgia.
Yeah, that's true. It's episode 80 of Two Dudes and Some Bullshit. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live! I almost said McRae Live. Tony, Michael, and I are watching Rob Zombie's Halloween tonight from 2007.
Y'all know what's about to go down. We're going to get about 20 or 30 McRae rants. We're going to get shit shows up the storm. We're going to get garbage. Just kick back, smoke a bowl, eat some popcorn, and get ready for the McRae.
That's true. But, maybe I'll be a little tame tonight. Maybe I'll be all right. Maybe I'll, I don't know. Now, Tony and I, Tony will be watching the director's cut.
That's the only one that I have.
That's the only one he has. I am actually watching the theatrical cut because it's the only one that I have. So, Tony and I, maybe our timing may be off a little bit, but certainly it's not like the theatrical cut is 4 hours and the director's cut is 90 minutes. I mean, we'll
think this one's
be in and around the ballpark.
You might get some people who will watch the director's cut along with me, and you'll get some people watching the theatrical cut along with you. So I kind of like that.
That's true. That's true.
I just wish iTunes, like sometimes with iTunes movies, I'm sure you all know this too, they'll give you the option, like when you buy it, you'll have a theatrical cut and you'll have the director's cut. They didn't do this with Rob Zombie. You either have to buy the director's or you have to buy the theatrical cut. And then the same thing with Halloween 6. You have to buy the theatrical or the producer's cut.
Interesting.
And I actually have both the theatrical and the producer's cut of that. That's the only one I double bought on.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, like you said, I mean, the chat, there might be some people watching the theatrical, some people watching the directors, and, you get the best of both worlds, when it comes to this. So, whatever. But at the end of the day, in my opinion, it doesn't matter what fucking version you're watching.
Here we go. It hasn't even started. Ooh, hey, I want to show you this, dude. I got this new poster for The Office. I thought you and the chat would appreciate it.
Oh, appreciate it.
Little Halloween poster.
I'm having internal orgasms right now looking at it.
Love it. I love the composition they did with this print with Annie on the bed, and obviously the OG Mike mask just before he picks up the phone.
That's great. Where did you pick that up?
On Etsy.
Oh,
good old. I just, occasionally I'll pop on Etsy and I'll type in horror movie prints, horror movie posters, and that's what I do. And
that's cool.
Just kind of look for like artistic stuff like this, compositions like that. Rather than just the traditional stuff like the T-shirts, like Rock and Michael and the Ghost tonight. I like looking for those little things instead of the traditional poster, which I have a traditional poster in my hallway. I think you do too, right? I do, outside that door. Yep. Yeah. I do. Yeah. That's where my Nick Castle signed photo is as well. And I'm just rocking my you met good old Nick.
I did, 5 years ago. Next month, I'm rocking my Amoeba hoodie from Hollywood, but I have on underneath this the T-shirt that I picked up at the world premiere of Halloween 2018. You cannot get this T-shirt, unless somebody is selling it, I guess, but you can't get this anywhere. This is specifically from the world premiere. I believe it was an extra large. It's way too big for me, but you know how at events and things like that, they tend to hand out one size and it's usually gigantic, and so that's kind of what this was. But nonetheless, cool. It's like a nighttime bed shirt, you know what I mean? I never wear it out. I look like I'm wearing a dress, but but it's good for just kind of, bumming around, you know what I mean?
Well, now if this were the 90s, you'd be wearing it out because we wore everything 10 times our size.
That is true.
I don't know why, but we did.
That is true.
So where do you put this on your list? For me, this is around middle of the road. I'm just past 5. I'm in this. It's about 6th on my list. For me, it goes the original 4, 2, 3, H2O, and then this. Yes, I do put this above the 2018 film. I know I'm going to get shit for it, but that's my case.
This at the bottom of the barrel, and there's there's like it's in and around basically resurrection, you know, and again, it's not that, like, I understand. I actually listen. I'm not an idiot, contrary to popular belief. No, so I mean, I can intellectualize why people like this movie, and I totally can see their reasons for it. It makes sense. I get it. I totally get it. For me, I have a hard time. And again, it's not that, you know, I can't find a nice moment, you know, a cool shot. Oh, I like that moment. I like that shot. I mean, I can do that with The Last Jedi. I mean, you can do that with mostly even the worst movie possible. You can find some sort of redeeming thing about it. Yeah. But I'm just not a fan, generally speaking, of Rob Zombie's style of filmmaking. I was talking about this yesterday on one of my patron things, and I said that all I see with Halloween 2007 is just Rob Zombie. He tends to always, his movies always generally have this hick trailer trash sort of angle to it. So when I see this, when I watch Halloween 07, I don't see somebody who's written a interesting story about a child coming from a, bad family. No, I just see that's, I mean, if Rob Zombie were to make a Star Wars movie, it'd be a trailer trash family in a Star Wars movie.
Although it'd be fun to watch.
I'm sure it'd be hilarious. If Rob Zombie was to remake Black Christmas, it'd be like a sorority house in the Deep South. No offense to my Southern brothers and sisters, man. But you know what I'm talking about. But you know what I mean, right? And then to be all like, and it's because it's just what he does. So it's hard for me to see beyond just him being him, and I'm just not a fan of his style. The Devil's Rejects was okay until, but then I realized that this is just what he does. Like, every movie is like this. He's casting the same people. He's got his wife in there. They're always, well, fuck, skull, bitch, fuck. They're all these kinds of characters all the time. So when I watch Halloween 07, I don't see this interesting take. I see, like,
I will say on interesting takes, though, I'll piggyback off that comment. Scout and Malcolm's performance of their individual characters, Laurie Strode and Dr. Loomis, high praises, because they both made it their own. Like, when I watch Scout, I don't feel like she's trying to copy Jamie Lee, and same thing with Malcolm. I don't feel like he's trying to copy Donald Pleasance. They really embraced each of the characters, and I do like Scout's performance as Laurie and Malcolm's performance as Loomis.
And that's fair. And you know what? And credit goes to Zombie for writing it that way, directing them that way. Yeah. It just, for me, Rob Zombie has a very specific style, and he writes specific kinds of characters, generally speaking. And when you look at his movies, whether it's Halloween 2, House of a Thousand Corpses, The Devil's Rejects, 31, whatever, they all
Lords of Salem, though, you need to watch that. That's really good. It's not his tradition. I'm telling you, it's not his typical, without spoiling it. Trust me, watch it. Just watch it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's generally the same type of style of characters, and
no, I got you. Yeah,
I don't know why he does that. I don't know if he comes from that kind of a background. It's just what he knows or what he likes, but he just loves writing these types of characters. So
I think it's a comfort zone for him, and I think
it is, but
it's unfortunate because, like you said, there are moments when Rob Zombie does a movie, you're like, damn, like, if he just would, like, have the confidence to break away from this. I'm not saying he'd be Kubrick, but I'm saying he'd be decent and he'd be a really good director.
And the perfect example of that is, what? I loved Alita Battle Angel. And I'm hoping that there will be a sequel. There probably won't be, but I'm hoping that there will be. Anyway, so Robert Rodriguez directed that. Now, Robert Rodriguez is not, Rob Zombie, but Robert Rodriguez, you look at the movies he's directed, and certainly there's a style there. There's a comfort for him. He directed Alita Battle Angel. I mean, I was like, this doesn't feel like, what? Now, to be fair, you can definitely feel James Cameron's prints on it, but it was directed by Robert Rodriguez. I want to see, maybe Zombie has no interest in doing that, but until Zombie does something like that, I just have no interest in watching these same fuck guy, bitch, dude, bye, fucker, these hick these hit characters in every one of his fucking movies. And I'm just tired of it. It's just a cliche. And with Halloween, what I hate about this movie and what he did with the mythology is generally what people love about it. So you either really like it or you don't. And all I see is just Rob Zombie just writing, being almost, extreme for the sake of it. Now, like you could say, yeah, but he wrote Michael Myers, to come from this kind of a family. He was going to come from that kind of a family regardless, because that's just what Rob Zombie does. So it wasn't Rob Zombie going, I think I'm going to make him. No, that's just what he does. It's just Rob Zombie. You know what I mean? And that's what I have trouble getting past, and any sort of mystique or anonymity or enigma that is part of the character that made Michael so rich is completely gone. But that's what people love about it. They love that it's so different. They love this unique, different take. That's fine. But it just it's just not for me. Now, you like this movie.
I do.
But you loathe the sequel, if I'm not mistaken.
I walked out. It's the sequel, the only movie I ever walked out on. Like literally. Right. I went from, the sequel was interesting. The sequel was like Space Mountain. If anyone's ever been on that ride, you know what I'm talking about. You're super excited. You're finally going to ride Space Mountain. It seems like this badass ride. Yeah, maybe the first few minutes is a lot of fun. And then by the time you get off the ride, you're like, well, this just sucked. Pretty much how I felt with the sequel. The opening
I like Space Mountain. I thought that was all right.
The opening of, I'll be honest with you, the opening of the sequel, the hospital sequence that he filmed, is great. Probably one of my favorite sequences throughout the whole franchise. It is so well directed.
It is.
The intensity of that scene, the way Scouts, she knocks it out of the fucking park. And then people forget Octavia Spencer. Her death is one of my favorite. Man, he fucking goes off on Octavia in that death scene. But it's the whole atmosphere of the hospital and everything he built around that opening was like, dude, this is fucking. And then to find out it's a dream, I was like, no. Pretty much like that was my reaction. I was like, no, like what? And then it just got downhill real fast. And I don't even think I made it midway. And I just said, I'm done. I'm out.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Especially when the fucking trippy white horse thing, that really pissed me off when I saw Sherry Moon fucking has a white horse there on the street and Michael's looking at her. I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck?
You can imagine, Tony, that if I don't like this movie we're about to watch, you can only imagine what my thoughts are for the second one. I mean,
that's going to be a fun night. I'm going to smoke a lot of weed for that night.
And by the way, those people, because there have been a few people saying, haven't you guys already done this already? Tony and I have talked about Rob Zombie's Halloween 1 and 2 about a year or so ago, but we're actually having a watch night, right? A watch party, live commentary. So we haven't done that yet. So that's what we're doing. Anyways, are you ready to do this, my man?
I am ready. I'm at the 2-second mark, just as Dimension is about to fade in. Remember, I'm watching the directors. Dave's watching the theatrical.
That is correct. All right, and we will get to your super chats, of course, when we head to the Q&A portion. We've decided to do it that way as well to sort of keep us focused more so on the film throughout, but we will definitely do that. Here we go. And click.
Here we go. Yeah, and as I said, now I'll tell you, there are some things in this movie that I'm going to throw at you that if he made these changes, I think it would have really knocked this movie out of the park and would have been really fucking good.
Okay.
I even changed some of the actors around to portray different characters in the film, and I think it still would have worked really fucking good.
Okay. All right. Halloween.
The soundtrack is good. Tyler's version of the theme is really fucking good. I will admit that. And then the overall music that Zombie overlaid in this film, the old classic 70 rock music, I do like that a lot.
Yeah.
I know you don't. I know you're not a fan of...
Oh, no, I'm okay with something like this because it's the beginning of something. So I'm okay with that. I get it. It's on the radio.
So here, I'm going to start off with this. I agree with what you say about how Michael's family is portrayed at the beginning, especially like Judith, for example. I remember when I saw this with my uncle and my friend in the theater, and this whole scene and sequence that's about to go down here with the breakfast scene, and we see Judith for the first time. Like, I had no sympathy for the character. Like, I was just anticipating for this little kid to fucking off his sister. And to me, I always felt like the shock value of the original Halloween was seeing this what seemed like an innocent girl, getting it on with her boyfriend.
Wait 1 second, Tony. I'm just going to pause you for just a second. I just want to hear this beautiful line here.
Oh.
Flappy ass tits, ladies and gentlemen.
So we're about the same. All right, we're right there.
I will skull fuck the shit out of you, bitch! Yeah! Oh, yeah, that's a great line! What great dialogue, Zombie! You are a thespian! Man. God. I remember, and like I said, I was in the theater with my 66-year-old mother, no, my 62-year-old mother, however old she was at the time. Oh, man, it was bad. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, I mean, here it is. Here's Judith. Okay, the whole point of Judith is you want to have some sympathy for this character.
Yes.
Yeah, she could be a little promiscuous. Fucking Rachel was promiscuous in 4. But you made her character so unlikable, and she's just, comes down with her ass hanging out of her shorts, which, again, I don't mind looking at. But that's not the way Judith Myers should be portrayed. You want to feel, you want to have sympathy for this character. It's like, fuck, man, she's going to get killed by her younger brother here not too long from now.
Yeah.
But, when what's about to go down here between the exchange between her and Michael, it's like, it's too aggressive as older sibling to younger sibling. Like, little teasing, little joking around, that's cool. But you made the character so unlikable. Like I said, I was just fucking waiting for the scene where Michael offs her and just fucking get her out of the movie. And that's not how you should feel towards a character like Judith.
Well, I think
had he done the traditional Myers approach and made them more of like middle class, proper, church-going family, just a family you just would not expect something bad to happen. That's where, to me, in the original Halloween that Carpenter did, makes the whole fucking movie and the opening of that film such a shocking thing. Because here you see this little kid standing out on his front lawn, and his mom and dad look like decent parents. You're like, holy fuck. Here, it's almost like you expect it to fucking happen, that he's going to off his family and go fucking nuts.
Of course, and that's my point, is that...
And it takes away from the character of Michael.
It does, but it takes away... I don't know if Zombie's capable of doing what you just suggest. Of course, yeah, that's the way to do it, because you want to give empathy. You want us to allow the audience to feel some sort of empathy, but all I see here is just Rob Zombie doing what he does. It's like Rob Zombie has no self-awareness that other types of people exist. It's like this is just what he does. He creates these hick, trash, swearing every 5 seconds type of people, and this is just what he does. I'd be stunned to see Rob. I'd love to see him do a drama or a romantic comedy or an action, thriller. But if he did, it would be about a trailer trash family or a trailer trash action thing like Devil's Reach. He just lives in this cesspool of nothingness, and it's very difficult to have empathy for character. Like this whole family, I don't give a fuck about this whole family. Michael, if you wanted to have this kind of a family, what you should have done is you should have had clearly Michael as the black sheep. Michael isn't the black sheep. He's just as fucked up as the rest of them. He's killing rats. He's, washing a scalpel or whatever it was off of blood. I don't care. I mean, he's already there. He's already there. So, if anything, what should have happened is that we should have seen this little boy who's maybe crying and there's something about him that he's not quite like his mom.
Quiet, he's not even crying. I just quiet, like you said, something very off. And what I would have done as far as the casting, Dee Wallace, who plays the Strode mom in later on in the film, I would have made her Mrs. Myers, and the guy who plays Mr. Myers, or her husband, Mr. Strode, make him Mr. Myers, and make them this Rockwellian normal type family. I would have made Sherry Moon the Strode stepmother, so that her character is a little bit off towards Laurie. Like they don't have this like mother-daughter dynamic because she adopted them, and maybe she's resentful for having to adopt them or something.
There isn't anything I don't agree with what you said. I just don't think Zombie is capable of being that self-aware. And I say that obviously with a grain of salt. I'm not saying he's an idiot, but I'm just saying that this is just what he does. And in terms of Myers, what I mean by quiet. I just simply mean that, upset, is that to see that there's clearly a difference with him in relation to the rest of his family, and that he's not like them, and that he's being tortured, and it's having an effect not necessarily on his conscious mind, but subconsciously. But right now he's already gone. Like, he's already gone there, and his sister's gone there, and the whole house could blow up right now, and I wouldn't give a fuck. We need to have some sort of empathy, something about it.
Right.
Yeah, but it's not there.
Having him picked on by bullies at school.
I don't give a fuck that he's being picked on.
No, I'm saying when you add those elements, it's like
exactly.
There's no build up to him becoming what he ultimately becomes. Well, it's like it's almost you expect him to go fucking Columbine at some point.
Of course. And when I see little Michael Myers in this movie bullied, I'm like, good. I'm glad he's fucking bullied because he's a fucking piece of shit. And then you can say, yeah, but that's why he's a piece of shit. Yeah, but we don't see that transition. We don't see that fall. We don't see that character development. So not that there's got to be this rich, deep character development, but I mean, just take a moment and show us a bit of, nuance in the character. Yeah. Now I'm thrust into the end of this. I'm just like, I hope they all die. I hope they all fucking die. No way he could do
this today, man, with the whole animal killing too, and showing that no way he could get away with doing that.
This opening credit sequence is really awkward too.
And I know he kills the dog in the original Halloween. I understand that. But I just, again, here, like...
Oh, there is no opening credit sequence. Excuse me. I was thinking about Anyways, go on.
I was just saying, like, here, you just... There's no mystery to Michael. I mean, I have no problem with the way the kid played him and what he was told to do by Zombie and the script he was given. He was fine.
We're just talking about characters.
He's just a WWF guy in a jumpsuit. He's just a big ass dude. I mean, him alone without anything on is fucking scary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree.
I like Loomis here, and I do, I like, again, Malcolm McDowell's performance here as Loomis. The way, I mean, you can clearly tell he's the fucking actor in the bunch at the moment. You know what I mean? He's Malcolm McDowell.
Yeah.
I will say this. This scene I thought I thought this would have been cool, and Michael doesn't kill the kid. You know what I mean? Like, I liked how he's got Michael as a kid here showing some like early, stalking, you know what I mean? He's standing there looming in the background, following this kid home. Maybe he doesn't necessarily pull the trigger yet on this kid. I would have played up that more. I would have, done a fake out, make the audience think he's going to kill him, but actually doesn't kill him. Just he stalks this kid all the way home. And it's those winks and nod to what Michael will eventually come. Like you see him standing there with the tree in the background. I would have just played it off just like that. You didn't have to go full kill here.
Right. Well, but because of where his character is,
I get it.
He just killed a bunch of rats. Then yeah, I mean, we're like, I don't feel empathy for the bully necessarily because he's a dick, but I don't feel like, yeah, you get him, Michael. No, it's he's murdering him. This kid should be handcuffed, thrown in prison for the rest of his life. I'm seeing a future murderer. Like a Dahmer or a Gacy
he's having his Columbine moment right now.
Yeah. Like, and
it takes away, this isn't now Judith is not the first kill. It's this kid. Well, besides the animals that he's killed up to this point.
That's true too.
And again, it takes away from, and I understand, like, when you're remaking a film, you don't want to go beat for beat. He wanted to add, this, instead of doing Judith as the first kill. I get it. But I think if he had played the creep factor a little bit more and had Michael stalked him home, and us, the audience, think, is he going to kill this kid? And he doesn't, and Judith is still the first kill. I think that would have been the creative choice I would have done, and still build upon. But you're right, because of the fact that we've seen the photos of him off in these animals. You're at this point right now where you look at him like he's adult Michael. You have no empathy for the kid. No,
and look, I mean, again, obviously these creative decisions are intentional. We're at the scene here where Michael's still beating the shit out of the bully here. I mean, obviously they're intentional, and Rob Zombie is telling a different story. Instead of telling a story about, a potential, I mean, there's no mystery to it. So he's basically written a story, taking some things from the original, but writing a story about the birth of a serial killer, you know, in a real world type of situation, like a Gacy or a Dahmer, you know, that kind of thing, where it's like, you know, this is what they are when they're kids, and we're just going to be thrust into it. And the problem is that by this time, Halloween, you know, it's just so, it's one of the biggest, largest horror mythologies in the world. And when you rewrite the mythology, like they tried to do with Black Christmas in 2019, you know, it's just kind of like, you know, and listen, there are a lot of people that love this take. It's so different. It's such a 180, not just from the original movie, but from anything we've known about the character. It's such a 180 that you are either going to love it or you're going to not love it at all. It's really, there's very little middle ground when it comes to zombies Halloween films. And that usually happens with very strong acquired tastes, right? Like you either love, you know, this piece of whatever food that's got such an acquired rich taste, or you don't like it at all. Like very few people, you know, would taste something like that and go, it's yeah, it's not bad. I have it every once in a while. Very few, you know, and I think that this movie is like that in a lot, because it's such a stark contrast from what we know before. And for me, I just watch it and just like, I don't like, and then knowing what I know about Zombie, I sit here and I'm just like, oh, it's Rob Zombie doing what he does again. He's got his wife in there playing a hick son of a bitch, you know, a slut. You know, he's got you know, his friends in there going, fucking, you know, and he's got all these same people, not everybody obviously, but I'm just like, Rob, can you not just do a normal movie? Like, can you not just have, you know, like, why are you so obsessed with these types of characters, you know? And I don't even know if Rob Zombie, like, I know it's passed off as, no, Zombie, you know, he's telling this, you know, story about this heck, and it's like, yeah, but look at his other, you know, for the most part, look at his filmography. It's the same type of movie, you know, and, you know, like right now, the Love Hurts thing here and the...
Oh, you're definitely ahead of me.
Am I ahead of you?
Yeah, wow. They're still having their little moment there.
Like this just, because this is his wife, I just feel like he's just exploiting his wife. And he's just like, hey, look at my hot wife, bitches. What are you, a cuck, Rob? Are you a fucking cuck? Probably is.
See, I like this. Oh, wait, you're ahead of me. The scene that I like here where he looks up and he says, what about trick-or-treating? And Judith says, sorry, you know, like, you know, aren't you a little bit too old? Like, I like that exchange. And that's about where I would have kept the dynamics
some nice moments
between Judith and Michael. You know what I mean? Not so hard, but like kind of like, you know, Michael was expecting his bigger sister to take him out trick-or-treating, but she's going to go and, you know, now be with her boyfriend. Like those little things I thought was okay. And was done well. I think he should have kept the characters there rather than so far over that, like I said, when he finally kills Judith, you're like, fuck yeah, man, because you don't like the character. And the girl who played her did a phenomenal job of making us not like her. Yeah, I just would not have gone that way with it. Right,
I understand. Fair points. Fair points.
Where are you at, by the way?
Judith's breasts.
Oh, you're right.
She's lying in. Yeah, she's lying in bed with the guy here. They're stupendous. No, they're just having a conversation here.
Okay.
And this guy
when
is
she's like talking about how like the Ronnie's not.
You know, and then you look at this guy too, right? It's like you know, like of course she's got to be able, you know, with a guy that looks
like the
this.
Jamie Kennedy wannabe, man.
Well, but he's like, but he's like the Great Value brand version of Jamie Kennedy. He looks like like everybody just looks so like. Where does this take? Is this really small town?
Is the 70s, right? And then by the time we get and then it's the 90s, right?
Yeah, something like that. But is this like? Is this small town Illinois in the 70s, or is this small town Mississippi in the 70s? I mean, it's like, Jesus. No offense to people in Mississippi.
Where are you at?
What I'm talking about. Michael's just come home. He's seen Ronnie asleep. Now he's walking. Let's see here. He's playing with the candy or whatever. He's taking a bite of his candy.
I had to
toss his candy across there. So I mean, you know, I like again, I don't really feel any empathy for this character at all. I just am. If anything, there's maybe a certain level of, oh, I'm watching a train wreck. I'm watching, it's like, oh, the train is barreling down. The truck is on the tracks. The train is barreling down, but I don't feel any empathy for the truck on the tracks because the guy's a fucking idiot. And he's a douchebag and he's a moron. And he was told not to drive onto the tracks 500 times, but he drove onto the tracks and he's sitting in his truck going, oh yeah, fuck yeah, a fucking piece of shit. And I don't care about him. And I'm just like, I'm just going to sit and watch and enjoy this moment. Like, I don't feel like, oh my God, get off the tracks. No, I'm like, I hope he dies a miserable death. That's how, so I'm just enjoying the train wreck of it all, I guess. Michael has put the knife down now, and he's
doing this with the tape.
He just did it now. Yep.
Okay, so now I'm ahead of you. That's
so. Ronnie must be like completely
doped up on serious drugs, man. To not feel that. I mean, he is like, And then now here again, I'm like, I don't care about Ronnie. I hope he dies a miserable fucking death. I don't care that Michael is doing this, going, no, kid, come on, man. You're better than that, kid. Come on. No, somebody help this kid. Come on, somebody. Come on, what the hell? He's going to murder somebody. I don't care. Train coming down on an asshole on the tracks. Let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah, I think if he switched, I'm telling you, I think if he had switched it around, I think if he made the Myers family more normal, Dee Wallace as Mrs. Myers and the guy who plays the Strode dude later on, make him Mr. Myers and make the Myers family more normal. I think that would have been a more effective approach. And he could still have Sherry Moon in the movie. Like I said, Sherry Moon could have played Mrs. Strode, the stepmom. And you could have built on the maybe friction between Laurie and her character as Mrs. Strode, that they don't... There's an underlying tone that they don't get along, but it's not so obvious. Maybe she gets along with Mr. Strode better, and you play off that a little bit. So you still get your wife in the film. I just think if you maneuvered some people around and had them play different type characters, it would have made the movie that much better.
Right.
And I love the idea of killing the boyfriend. I thought that was, that's where you make it your own. You, instead of making the boyfriend have sex with Judith and leave, I like, Michael wailing him with a baseball bat and off at him. You know what I mean? And beating him down with it. Like, I'm totally cool with that. And not have the boyfriend get away the second time and then, lead up to Judith's death. Like, I would have been okay with the boyfriend being the first kill and then Judith. But we're 40 minutes in? Not 20 minutes into the movie, and he's killed the high school kid, he's killed Ronnie, and he's about to kill the boyfriend. 3 kills plus animals before Judith. I just think that's too much. I would have done boyfriend and then Judith, and that would have been cool.
Yeah, where am I here? You know what? And again, I give credit where credit is due. I mean, Zombie, he made it his own. Again, I just don't like the stark contrast. I'm just not a fan of these types of movies generally. And I think the reason why I was able to watch The Devil's Rejects and accept it for, what it was, be like, yeah, okay, is because it's an original piece and, but if it's like imagine watching A Nightmare on Elm Street with this type of, you'd be like, Has
he killed the boyfriend?
Yeah, he just hit him over the head.
Yeah, like I like this kill. It's a good kill. And he's teeing off on him. Like, all this aggression that he's letting out right now, how much more effective would it have been if Michael had been pretty quiet up until this point? He did the little stalking, the kid at home. You didn't see him pull the trigger. Now you see him pull the trigger for the first time, and he goes off like that, wailing on the boyfriend. Seeing that for the first time would have been like, oh, shit. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, but that's true.
We've already seen him kill twice now, and it takes away from the moment here. So it's like you're not changing a lot. You're still keeping your ideas, Zombie, for the type kill you want to do with the boyfriend. It just would have made it more impactful if you waited to the first kill till that moment.
It's a good point. Yep, for sure. That's a very good point.
You're seeing all that aggression that he's kept inside letting out now. The trigger's been pulled, and he's going off.
Yep, that's called suspense.
I don't like him having the mask right here. I really don't like it. Not as a kid. But, I mean, I understand why from the narrative that we find out why later on. But
yeah, because it was the boyfriend's mask, right?
Right. And then he ends up hiding in and gets it when he breaks
Where
out.
did the boyfriend get it from?
I don't know. And then he says the stupid line, "You want to do it with the mask on?"
Yeah, let's do it with the mask on.
that should never have been put in the movie. I understand why. I get it, but it just it cheapens the mask, man. You know what I mean? Like,
I get it.
That's why I never do anything comedic with my photos with these characters, because I don't ever want to undermine who these characters are and how they were intended to be created.
Mm-hmm.
So like, this is cool. Like I like how everything's see, the clown mask should have been on him.
Mm-hmm.
But I like this, like she's trying to find out, like, what the fuck is wrong with you, bro?
But here's the thing too. He's already killed, like, 2 people in the house.
2 in the house, 3 up in the house.
Now he's going after 3 here. Like, I'm starting to get desensitized to all this now.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because,
like I said, you lose the shock value of Judith's death. Mm-hmm. But I do like Tyler's fucking theme here, the stalking theme. So good. He did a good job with this. I mean, it's not Carpenter's, but his take on it really.
It sounds very.
Release this on a vinyl.
It sounds very aggressive, and it's a nice. It works. It works for what this movie is. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Tyler Bates, right? Tyler Bates is the composer.
Yeah,
I believe. Yeah. See, I like this. Darn it.
Yeah.
Darn it. Darn it.
But again, I don't know. I feel sort of it is good, but I feel sort of, I don't know what the word would be.
Oh, of course, the classic early 2000s sound effects there with the stabbing. I like the kill, though. I have no complaints with the scene. It just, like you said, we're so
it would have been great
at this point.
If this was the only kill. If this was the only kill.
Throughout the whole
movie? No, in the opening.
Well, I like killing the boyfriend, though. I do like offing the boyfriend this time around. Doing something different from Carpenter's. Mm-hmm. That's the one thing I'm okay with. But Ronnie and the kid from school, like, you're at 4 kills now, and you're only 24, 25 minutes, depending on what version you're watching, into the film.
That's true, yeah.
No. Is Michael going to kill a baby again?
No.
No, actually, this would have been the first time it actually happened. 2018 would have been the second time it had happened.
Right. That's true. And no, I don't think he does. No, of course he doesn't.
No, he doesn't. That's Boo.
That's Lori.
I think he calls her Boo, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Hey, I mean, look, hats off to him. Sherry Moon is fucking hot. Like, there's no way. I mean, I guess if I had a wife like that and she didn't mind acting in my movies, I'd be like, come on, you're in it. I mean, it is what it is. I do love the cars too. I love the classic cars that I see in this film. Sorry, I just got sidetracked on that for a moment.
Sweetie.
And I like the I don't know if I want to call it it's not a montage, but it's more of like, it's just like an overlay, like almost like a collage here of everything happening with the reporter talking in slow motion. And then you ultimately see Michael. Like, I like if this was revealed, like if it was Dee Wallace, Mrs. Myers and the other guy, and this whole, like, same thing here. Perfect. I love how this was filmed,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the reaction, we're finally seeing Mrs. Myers with a reaction, right? Instead of what we didn't get in the first film.
Yeah. Well, again, that's because it was a tableau, but yeah. No, you're right.
But I'm cool with this, because you would have expected this is what would have happened after the moment, if we saw that in the Carpenter version, that this is what our mind is supposed to think that went down.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's fine.
I'm just not a fan. It was that sepia tone color that he did. Not a fan of that. I would have just
now here's your tableau that Zombie did.
Right, the freeze frame, and he's moving the camera.
Because that's
it's a creative shot.
That's what was happening at the end of the first movie. A lot of people, like I said, have often said, why are the parents just standing there? Why aren't they doing anything? And I said this for years, that it's a cinematic tableau.
Right.
Yeah, this is what it's supposed to be. And then when I met Dean Cundy at the 40th anniversary convention, I took it upon myself to ask him straight up. It's on my channel. You can look at the interview. It's about 6 minutes long or so. And I asked him, I said, this is the intention for this was a tableau, right? As you're pulling back. And he's like, yes, that's what it's like, a freeze frame. So imagine when, the dad goes, Michael, and takes off the clown mask, you hear like a camera go, you know what I mean? And it's just this still frame of this backdrop. Yes, the mom puts her hands in her pockets and you can see them, moving a little bit, but that's what that's why they're there. It's just art. It's just a artistic way of a moment. You know what I mean?
Where are you at, by the way? Because I want to make sure I'm not.
A very old, pretending to be young Malcolm McDowell was talking to Michael Myers with a glass of orange juice beside him and recording on a reel-to-reel.
They just started their session?
Yeah, I would have hired a younger actor to be Malcolm McDowell. Like, this just looks like he's clearly the same age, with a wig on, with long hair, or at least make him look younger. Why do I talk so fast?
I do like him though. I like his performance.
Well, Malcolm McDowell's a great actor.
Yeah.
He's a great actor, so he's going to elevate anything that, he's going to even make a bad movie,
type
watchable.
Shot here with the center frame and with the foreground being the tape machine.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mind this dialogue, between Loomis and Michael, showing the relationship. And I like the fact that the way he's playing Michael here is if like he blacked out that night. And there's a lot of truth to that if you ever hear, especially from any serial killer or any killer for that matter, in the moments they do it, a lot of times they black out and don't even fucking remember. So I liked how he played off of that with Michael in that moment with Loomis. Then the other way you can interpret that is Michael fucking with him, that he does remember, but he's just not going to tell him the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And then he, because eventually here you start seeing him begin to shut down. I like the mood of the hospital room being very white, like that old school white. If you've ever been into like any type of old mental hospital, that's pretty much what they look like. Now they're all abandoned and we get to go and take photos in them.
Mm-hmm.
But that's pretty accurate to just those rooms. I've been in a few rooms like that. Some of the mental hospitals here in Georgia that are abandoned, and that's pretty fucking accurate. This movie was filmed in Georgia, by the way, in Covington, Georgia.
I know.
Really near, close to where they filmed Friday Part 6. Yeah. Very close to where they filmed Friday Part 6.
Certainly doesn't look like Illinois. Oh, look, it's another one of Rob Zombie's friends that he has in his movies who looks like he's trying to be younger.
He's cool. That's, what's his name?
Yeah, of course he's cool, but...
what's his name? Shit. I'm trying to blank on his name. He's in...
Oh. Yeah, he's always in these kinds of movies too. It's fucking shit.
I love this dude. He's a cool actor. He's in Con Air. Loses his arms in Con Air. Danny Trejo. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it, Frank.
Tom Buckingham says, Dave, when was the last time you watched this film? Actually, probably right before we talked about it about a year or so ago. But before that, it would have been in the movie theater. I saw it in the movie theater in 2007. Never watched it again. Thought it's dog shit. Don't want to watch it.
I've got Dave watching it twice in 1 year, which means he's going to definitely get me to watch Resurrection soon.
No, I'm not going to get you to watch Resurrection.
Well, I'll have to if we ever do it.
Oh, if we're going to do it. Yeah.
Oh, that's.
But again, I mean, again, I totally like Tony. Everything you're saying about the shots and the set dressing and the moments, and I agree with that. I do. I just it's a take on the character of Michael that I just happen to not.
What about
not want to?
How in this scene with Loomis, where Michael always has the mask on, what if like it was more like that rather than the clown? But it was pretty much always like that. Michael always kept a mask on and maybe occasionally said a few words here and there. That would have been an interesting approach too, because there's moments when Michael doesn't have the mask on, which I'm like, okay, what if you played it that this kid always just had a mask on? He never fucking took it off. And he said things, here and there. What do you think of that?
Or they could play it where they don't show any of these scenes at all and keep Michael a mystery.
Well, you still keep it a mystery by having the mask on and never showing the kid's face. Because it does make you go, well, what the fuck does this kid look like? You never see it. If you
we already know what the kid looks like.
Mask. Huh?
Yeah. We already know what the kid looks like, though, because we've seen
That's
him
what I'm saying.
earlier
Like,
in the movie.
I'm asking, like, what if they played it that way? You know what I mean? Like, instead of having him show his face, what if he always had a different type of mask on his face? The clown one or the cardboard cut thing that he did, like the homemade one.
It's interesting.
Because you keep that mystery of who is this kid? You don't know him. You don't see his face. And he's making it his own rather than duplicating the original film. Timestamp can be interesting here because I'm watching the director's cut and Dave's watching the theatrical. Dave, where are you at? I'm at 32 minutes where Michael and Loomis are across from each other.
31 minutes, 50 seconds. And Myers is crying and Loomis is consoling him like a teddy bear.
No, wait, really?
Yeah. And now's...
Because Loomis just took out the tape in mine.
Oh, Sherry Moon Zombie is now...
Sheesh,
outside and consoling her son.
Oh, outside. Okay, hang on.
In front of a red brick wall. She lifted up his mask. She's talking.
Oh, see, I'm getting all the extra scenes. That's why I had to skip up. I got more of the hospital scenes, stuff that you weren't seeing, which probably why you were wondering what the hell I was talking about. Okay, so in the director's cut, everything I was just talking about that you obviously didn't see. There's a lot of moments here where Michael just has the mask on in the hospital.
I did see it. Yeah.
Okay, but they played on that. They played on that a lot in the hospital, and there was a lot of scenes there that I don't think you got to see that I was seeing, and that's why I'm like, I think they might think I'm on crack right now.
No. I totally understood what you were talking about. Totally. Yeah, like I got it. I get it.
And now it's the three of them, right?
It's the three of them now. Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, Michael's got the mask on, got a milk carton in front of him. He's just looking down, not saying anything.
See, how much more effective would this scene be if Michael always had the mask on and she puts the picture up like this? We don't see the picture, except maybe the camera zooms in. You're getting closer to seeing it, and then you cut. You don't see Michael as a kid. You only see this kid with blonde hair and this mask, and that's it.
It's an interesting thought. Yeah,
it keeps the mystery of Michael, at least, anyways, in my opinion. Who is this chick, by the way? The nurse here that he's about to stab with the fork.
I'm not sure. The actress, you mean? I'm not sure.
She also looks like she could be like Janet Leigh's sister.
A little bit. Dr. Lewis. He doesn't even look like a doctor. He looks like a...
Well, when he gets cleaned up and he gets the short hair going.
Well, yes, but I mean, like at this very moment, I would have hired a younger actor.
I would have approached Malcolm a little bit different with that. I wouldn't have gone the hippie route. I understand what they were doing. Like, he's holding, and look, there's men his age that are, look, I'm seeing it now all over social media. There are doctors his age still trying to hang on to that shit, and I get it. I would have taken a different approach with that. I probably would have just had Loomis look the way he looks in the future. Pretty much kept it the same, Yeah. You didn't need to have these two different versions.
Yep.
See, I like this. It's fucking creepy. He's not saying anything. You know what I mean? He's just standing over this, the woman. He's got the mask on. He's looking at, like, that's just fucking creepy. And I'm cool with that.
I just don't give a fuck. I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying.
And like see, like, how cool would that have been? Like when she takes the mask off, and I don't know, maybe they could have found a way to.
Hey, I just found something I liked.
What?
The freeze frame of little Michael as he's being apprehended, and he's going, and then they freeze frame on his mouth, and then they freeze there for a moment, and now we've cut to Sherry Moon Zombie here, crying on the couch, uncontrollably, watching old, probably, I don't know what, 16 mil of her family torturing herself. But I like that. I like the freeze frame on the kid. He's like, no, and they freeze frame on his mouth. I like that. It's effective. It's effective. She's got a gun. She's going to blow her head off. She might as well. She's a fucking low-life.
Well, again, you have no sympathy for Mrs. Myers. Well, no, but that's why I'm saying
because you know what? If she had that kind of relationship with Ronnie, take your bloody kids and get the hell out of there. She's just as much to blame for all this as anybody. Why would you put yourself and your children through that? Why are you married? What are you doing with this guy? Get you? Because
we're not even make her suicide that impactful. It would make it. Now imagine if this was Dee Wallace, and I said it was the Rockwellian type family, and because of everything happened, let's just say this.
But that's not zombie style. He doesn't do that.
But what I'm asking is like, what if when Michael kills Judith, Michael goes into whatever, it causes a fracture between Mr. and Mrs. Myers. Maybe you highlight that a little bit. You see this fractured family now. Maybe Mr. Myers fucking takes off on his wife. And when Michael fucking goes off on the nurse one last time, like he can't fucking take it anymore, he dips. It makes the suicide of Mrs. Myers like that much more impactful, because you're like,
it does.
The whole family just fell apart here.
Yes, it does. It does. But
if it was Dee Wallace, it would have been, for fans, it would have been like, damn, that's a fucking tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, it does. It totally it does. But unfortunately, I don't see any evidence that Rob Zombie would have approached this movie that way, to see the value in what you're saying, to create a sense of, mystery, because that's what you do there, right? You create a mystique. There is no mystique in this movie. I'm just in a perpetual state of watching cool scenes put together. Oh, that's a cool scene. That's a cool shot. But I don't care about these characters. And oh yeah, but he's so big though. And, isn't this cool, Dave? Wow. Yeah, of course. There's a lot of things like that in movies that are cool. And now look at Malcolm McDowell. He's older now and he's got the white hair and he's talking to Michael. Isn't this cool? Yes.
Wait, you're there?
Yeah.
Damn, I got to fast forward.
But
Danny Trejo still
there's been nothing in the first, what are we? We're like 30, almost 40 minutes into this movie. And I don't feel anything. I don't feel a sense of mystique or ominous, it's just, it is. And again, what I don't like is generally what people really like. And that's fair. You're allowed to like this, but I don't, it doesn't do anything for me as an audience. And again, maybe if there was no such thing as Michael Myers, no such thing as Halloween, no 30 years of history and mythology, good or bad or whatever it is, embedded into the pop culture prior to this movie, maybe I would have watched this movie and be like, oh, this is a cool movie. Hey, have you guys seen that Halloween movie? It's real like raw and intense, and it's about this kind of this hick family and this child. Like maybe I'd be like, but when you come from where we come from, we're like, hey, here's an idea. What if Michael was from this kind of family? I sit and I watch it and I go, and everything you're saying, Tony, about the family and about, well, maybe it should have been like this, and you're not wrong, but you're proving my point exactly. That's why the original worked. That's why you feel that mystery and that mystique and that ominous, it's that in your head kind of thing, and why it's completely void here. You're not wrong with what you're saying. I just don't think it's Zombie's style. I don't think he has a subtle bone in his body.
Yeah, and that scene between Michael and Loomis would have been more impactful if Malcolm was playing Loomis all the way from the get-go to that moment, feeling like he totally failed Michael by showing the lack of dialogue and the fact that Michael isn't talking and Loomis isn't getting through to him. But the fact that you had dialogue, especially in the director's cut, like I was telling you, you had dialogue between Michael and Loomis, where it showed them to have somewhat of a relationship at the beginning, and then it just gradually, became, Michael became more reclusive and, was shutting down. And when Loomis is having that talk with him about failing, it should have been right from the get-go that Loomis is trying everything he can to get through this kid, to save this kid, because he's just determined to do it. This kid's family's falling fucking apart. His mother's dead now and shit. Right. But realizing as now Michael's an adult, he can't do it. So now you see him talk to the head doctors and say, listen, I can't get through to this guy. We've got to get him in a more secure place, because if you don't, something bad's going to happen. Yeah. And I feel like I'm at the scene here where, the security guards are taking him down the hall. I feel like I'm watching an entrance to a WWE match, or something, like you remember back in the day when, the security guards they're about to rape the girl here.
Remember back in the day when, the security guards would escort Goldberg down to the ring? I mean, that's almost what I feel like here. But it's not Goldberg, it's Kane, or it's the Undertaker or something, and I just sort of like, and I look at this, I feel like I'm watching a monster movie again.
Your escape is different than my escape. See, my escape, he rapes a girl, or the security guards rape the girl, and he breaks out. So
what would a zombie movie be without unnecessary rape scene?
That's right. I'm like, wait, security guards. I'm looking for it. I'm shuffling through it.
And this is what I know. But okay, so your director's cut has the security guards raping a girl.
One of the girls.
Why?
Like 2 cells over from Michael.
Why?
Michael's
like
room.
Zombie. Why? You know what I mean? It's like, this is the kind of shit where I'm like, does it serve the narrative, or is it just like, hey, this would be a cool fucking scene, man?
All right, so where are you at right now? Because I got
the woman from the Police Academy movies just shot Michael in the chest. Michael is strangling her. He grabbed her throat. Blood's coming all over the place, and he's just looking down at her and for life. And he does the head tilt. Oh, a little bit of a subtle head tilt there. That's what a little bit, one back a little bit, and now he's dragging her down the. Yeah, like I'm watching a full on, again. I mean. Yeah,
you have to keep telling me because we're watching too. So
no problem
until I get to where you're at. So just keep telling me because I've
right now,
so that we eventually get to back on track here.
Right now, what's his face there? The guy from Machete and
what's he doing?
He's just walking down the hall.
Did he go through the gate yet?
Yeah, he's gone through the gate. He's walking down the hall. He's looking around. He sees that, oh my God, there's nobody around here. And
tell me when he discovers the security guard on the ground and drops his lunch pail.
All right. Not yet. It's coming though. Oh yeah. And again, I would have hired younger actors to play the younger versions of these actors.
You got to tell me, dude, because
I will. He hasn't noticed it yet. He hasn't found them yet. I will tell you.
Or maybe it doesn't happen in yours.
Oh, I think it does. I'm pretty sure because I think I remember this. He's just walking down the hall. Okay, now he's going through the gate. Now he's going through a gate, and he's closing it. I'll tell you. I'll tell you as soon as it happens. Yeah, now. Yeah.
Speaking in Spanish.
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right, we're synced.
And how cool would this be if, like, again, imagine, I know I'm old school. Imagine not seeing these kills, but you just come across them. Like, what the fuck happened here? Holy shit. He's like, why are you out of your room? And again, folks, when I criticize things or call things, I'm not criticizing. It's not personal to the actors. It's not even personal to Rob Zombie. I don't know Rob Zombie. He could be I'm sure he's a nice guy. But I'm criticizing the creative choices and
That's what I'm saying. Like I enjoy it for what it is, but I think that there's like so much potential for this remake to be like Texas Chainsaw with Jessica Biel and how we regard that remake, how good it is for what it is.
Well, you see the problem.
He's so close to getting this to that.
Right.
I wish he just would have done that because it would.
Right.
The changes that I'm talking about.
He's going to town on his friend.
Would have changed the whole perspective of this film, and I think even most opinions. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
Oh, he's drowning.
He's drowning his buddy. You see, the thing is that, again, and you're going to hear me say this a lot, but it's hard for me to like this rendition of Halloween because it literally changes the fundamental foundation of Halloween. Halloween was never, even the bad Halloween movies, even H2O. I know I'm not a fan of H2O, but okay, I know, but okay. Part 5, Resurrection, even the bad Halloween films, don't change the subgenre almost. Like, I mean, it does, but this is a very sort of Texas Chainsaw feel to this movie, and which is why a lot of people have often said, oh, I'd love to see Zombie do a Texas Chainsaw movie. Yeah, I get it, and I can understand why.
Well, that's right up his alley. Or like a Hills Have Eyes, or
right, exactly. And when you think of Halloween, even when you think of the bad movies, you don't think of Texas Chainsaw, Hills Have Eyes, Last House on the Left, like torture porn or gratuitous sort of like Saw or like that kind of real you don't really think that, you know, and that's what these movies are to a degree. And I just was like, well, this isn't Halloween to me. You know, if Halloween had been one movie, you know, in 1978, and that had been the only Halloween film, and then they made this movie 30 years later, I mean, maybe you're like, well, you know, it's a different take. But when you have such a mythology and so many things to pull from, you know, and then you create this kind of movie, it's a very specific, it's a slasher movie, and it is. It's definitely in the slasher subgenre of horror, but it's almost an exploitation slasher movie in some ways.
Yeah.
And it's just not, that's just what zombie does. You know, stick Michael Myers in The Devil's Rejects and you got like almost the same movie. You know, I mean, it's kind of, you know, or you stick him in, you know, it just feels like I'm watching that kind of stuff. And it's just not, obviously I'm being facetious, folks, but I'm just saying, but I think you get my point.
I do.
You know.
How about that Rush tune though, man? I love that song. Tom Sawyer.
The Canadian band.
Love that
Canadian
song, Tom
band.
Sawyer. I just pulled that up on my playlist because I'm gonna play that later tonight. I like that tune. That's a good.
Oh, and then this guy too.
The soundtrack that he puts together is a really good soundtrack.
Yeah. This guy too.
Joe Grizzly.
Yeah, he's in every zombie movie practically as well. Like it just feels like Zombie and his buddies making a Halloween fan film. You know. It's a very high production valued Halloween fan film.
And he's looking at the porno mag.
He is. Of course. You see, like this is just Rob Zombie. This is his style.
Well, I mean, a trucker would be doing that. I mean, if he was dropping a load at a truck stop. Oh, dude, yeah. Dude, you don't even know, man.
No, hang on.
I did a documentary on truck because I just showed you some of the photos that I've been doing for this truck company. Mm-hmm. Man, what these truckers told me the shit that they do at these truck stops. Woo, the escorts and
oh yes, for sure.
That shit's legit, man. That shit is like really. And some of it's fucking.
I am not saying that. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm simply saying that it's not every single trucker would be sitting taking a shit looking at a porn mag, but in a Rob Zombie movie they would be because that's Rob Zombie. You know what I mean? If you're looking for some kind of action,
get on the arches.
I'm gonna fucking kick your ass. Sorry a-hole. Why would you say sorry a-hole? You'd say you'd be one sorry asshole. You would. Why are you censoring yourself?
I don't think he swears in movies. If I'm not,
really? Is that
not mistaken? Really? Someone correct me on that. I don't think he swears. I don't know if it's him or someone else I'm thinking of.
Really?
No, because he says bitch here. So he does swear. So I'm thinking of someone else.
Well, bitch is hardly a swear word, but yeah, maybe he doesn't.
There's someone I was thinking of that reminds me of him that doesn't swear in a movie, but he'll say things like a-hole and stuff like that.
Right. Michael needs the keys to the
Joe Grizzly. I was just expecting a little bit more of a fight.
Michael needs the keys to the truck, right? Is that why he's gone into the stall to kill this guy? Is that why he went in there? Like, was that his motivation? Was that his character's motivation?
He realized that he could get himself a jumpsuit and some boots.
Oh, right. Because what he was wearing was just, yeah, of course.
Well, I mean, look, the
original
Halloween, he kills a trucker.
Yeah.
You know,
No. I had forgotten. I've seen this movie maybe 4 times in my entire life.
Oh yeah, Halloween 18 totally copied this scene. I mean, everybody caught. Well, H2O copied. No, this copied H2O.
This copied H2O.
H2O did the first bath, but there was no kill in the bathroom scene. But as far as the intensity of the kill, I totally agree with that. When Aaron was getting killed in the 2018 film, I was like, man, this is like Rob Zombie's film. It's like I'm literally watching the same fucking type of sequence over again. Now, see, we're here with the Strode family. Now we're with the Strode family, dude. Like, this is how I could picture the Myers family being like, and if it was portrayed like this, it changes the whole dynamics of this film, right?
Oh, 100% it does.
It's the Myers house. And like I said, you could still have Judith be kind of that antagonizing older sister sibling to Michael, just not so fucking hardcore with it to where you don't like her.
To Tony's point, look at the family And again, I'm basically,
they're not perfect, but
no. But I'm simply saying, look at the family, the dynamic of the family. Imagine if that was Judith, and of course you have the little boy, and nothing will ever replace the scariness of something horrific happening in an environment and like a situation where you don't think it should be happening. When you look at the beginning of this movie, of course that's going to happen. Look at the fucking kid. Look at the environment. I'm going to come over there and skull fuck you. But I mean, of course that's going to happen to this kid. I mean, I was just watching a train wreck. But when you have a normal family against the backdrop of normalcy in Midwestern America, it's just a normal family, and something's like, what the fuck happened? It shouldn't be happening because, there's, in psychology, they talk about nature versus nurture. And in a lot of cases, what that simply means is that your nature is sort of how it's out of your control, but your nurture is your environment, if I'm not mistaken. And when you are you born in a middle class family, you live a nice little home, whatever, by all measure, this shouldn't be happening. You shouldn't be going off and murdering your sister or your sister's boyfriend or, your stepdad or your dad. It shouldn't be happening. That's frightening. And keeping the why is frightening. Well, we know why Michael's the way he is in this movie, because it was totally a combination of nature versus nurture. He was born into this environment, and his mother didn't have,
of his environment.
Right, exactly. And does that happen? Yes. Is it scary? Well, sure. He can be like but it's not the same scary. It's not the same. It's not the same. It's not the same. And it's cool to watch. They're cool kills. They're cool deaths. I like the set dressing. I like some of the, the blood and the dragging along the hall. It's just a different movie. It's a different style. It's a slasher movie, but it's even different in the subgenre of slasher films. It's more of an exploitation kind of hard slasher, and it's fine for what it is. And this was Rob Zombie's intent, of course.
Yep.
And he was successful at it. But I think for a lot of Halloween fans, and it's not that it doesn't have redeeming qualities, but I think for a lot of Halloween fans, they look at this and they go, but this isn't Halloween. I mean, it's like imagine if they made a Nightmare on Elm Street, a remake of Elm Street in this same vein. We saw little Freddy Krueger being born into a shitty home. Like you'd be like, this isn't Elm Street. Doesn't feel like Elm Street. Doesn't look like and some people would love it because it's so different. It's that stark contrast. You'd get people loving it. You'd get people hating it. For me, I fall on the side of the fence where I'm just like, this just isn't Halloween. You could literally call this, take Halloween away, take it being Michael, just change a couple things and just make it a hard slasher, about somebody else. I mean, he doesn't even look like Michael. He's walking down the hall. He looks like Kane from, the WWE. And I know he's been in a couple of horror films himself, but yeah, just make a different, slasher movie. Make it about this kid that grew up in this fucked up family, maybe in Georgia or something, and then he fucking, just kind of like tweak some things and it might be able to, but as a remake of Halloween, I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like, it's hard shit, It's the mystery and mystique to me is sort of gone. I did like this shot when Scout, looks out the window. No, I'm way ahead of you. When she looks out the window and sees Michael across the street, I thought that was really cool. And that house that you're seeing him standing in front of is the old Strode house from the original film.
Well, when they came out into the neighborhood there, I mixed it up. His Halloween 2 was filmed here. The first one was filmed in Pasadena where they filmed the first film. I made a mistake. Okay. I said that at the beginning of the podcast or the show tonight.
Yeah.
I said, I knew one of his Halloweens was filmed here, but it was the second one that was filmed here. The first one was filmed in the same neighborhood where they shot the first film, because when she starts walking out, when she leaves her Strode house, I recognized the street right away. That was Pasadena. And when she turned and started walking down the street, and like you know that road now enough. We've seen it in the original Halloween.
Yeah.
You recognize the hovering trees and stuff. And I was like, wait a second, I think I confused, and I did confuse it. Halloween 2 was filmed here. His first one was filmed in California.
Okay, I didn't know that. I haven't looked into it.
I was just looking it up on my phone just to confirm before I
certainly could believe. I could believe that it was around you because certain shots and
as soon as I saw Scout walk out of that house, I'm like, no, that's Pasadena. As soon as I saw that,
yeah, it's more to do with the color correction. But yeah, certainly I can. But yeah, that's the Strode house. That house is literally about 3 minutes away from the Myers house, the original Myers house. So that's I always appreciated that.
House, right?
No, that's the Myers house and the Strode house are in South Pasadena. The Wallace house and the Doyle house and the Elm Street house.
Okay. They're next to each other.
Yeah, they're in West Hollywood. Totally wrapped.
Where are you now?
The three girls are walking along the sidewalk. It's a long shot of them coming towards the camera. It's a good shot, actually. It's a very good shot. Well framed. I like it.
Have you seen Michael yet?
Just now, the camera's tracking. We see his arm. This is a good shot. I like the way it's framed. It's an effective shot. The trees and everything, and the stone wall behind.
We got my girl.
Oh yes,
Danielle Harris.
Danielle Harris. Yep, that's right.
She's yelling at Michael now.
Yeah. Hey, sheriff.
I didn't like that. I didn't like that dialogue exchange. I mean, but again, I understand. Instead of doing "Hey, jerk, speed kills," Right.
All right. Yeah. No, it's fine. It's fine. I mean, this is fine. Certainly they certainly do feel and look like teenage girls. Even though Danielle Harris is a lot older.
And I think the girl who plays Linda was close, but Danielle's actually like 30.
No, Danielle's in hers. She's
I think she's close to 30 in this movie.
30, yeah, she is. Because
you and she's a year older than us, right? Or a year or two older than us. She was 77. We're 79.
I think she's 77.
Yeah, so she would have been either 29 or 30 when they made this film. But she looks like a teenager.
Yeah. And that's what that does look like Pasadena. That is what Pasadena
totally looks like it. That's why as soon as she walked out, I'm like, wait, I think I confused the two locations.
I've been in that area.
But I did
so it does like
this here in Georgia. It took me a while.
Oh yeah, well that's what I mean. They can look it's the climate, right?
Yeah. And the streets that with the sidewalks and the streets that are overhanging. I'm like, you don't find many neighborhoods like that, but it does make it very effective to film a movie there. Or even daytime and nighttime, you can create really eerie shots in neighborhoods like this.
Yep, for sure. The scene now where Loomis and then of course here's another one of Rob Zombie's buddies as the graveyard keeper.
Oh, Jesus, man, I gotta fast forward to you. You're at the graveyard.
I'm at the graveyard scene. Malcolm and goddamn son of a bitch. Loomis just leaves because he just knows.
Now it says trick or treat, right? Yeah, Sid Haig, man. Sucks that he passed away here recently. Fucking John, man. John Saxon, dude. That fucking hit hard.
Yeah, John Saxon on the day we did our stream. Yeah.
That hit hard the other day when I was like, no.
Yeah, but 83.
It's a good life, but
it's always hard. Yeah, for sure.
It really does. Of course, I watched Nightmare on Elm Street that night. Had to. As soon as I heard the news, put on Nightmare.
You want me to give you a compliment? Now this is a combination of lighting and color grading. But I like the color grading.
Blue lighting.
I like the color grading. Well, and again, I need to say this for everybody who's watching, because I know people, this blue lighting Dave. When I talk about blue lighting, I don't mean that the color temperature of the entire film is drenched in blue. I don't mean that. I'm talking about that when you are utilizing nighttime scenes outside, or you're trying to create a sense of moonlight or ambient nighttime light in a Halloween movie, I much prefer the whitish blue color grade and color temperature, daylight balance as opposed to tungsten balanced, because it creates a sense of coolness and coldness. And, it's October and we should be feeling that cool coldness at nighttime. And I always found it very sort of indicative of the character of the shape as well, right? The coldness, the ghostly aspect of the shape, and the void of any emotion, right? What do people say when you are void of emotion, right? They say that you're cold. How can you be so cold, right? How can you be so cold, right? So I like that, because I think it's important to the character of Michael as well. So I appreciated that they did that in Halloween 4. I appreciate that they have a bit of that here in Rob Zombie's Halloween as well. I mean, that's something that I did like that. They did. And it's not that I want the entire movie drenched in this blue, color temperature. It's more just about, the ambient nighttime feel. Some cool moments in the house. Linda's just finished having sex and she's kind of there. She reaches over, she grabs, what's she grabbing here? Oh, she turns on the radio. All
right. So we're linked up. Yeah, of course. Don't fear the Reaper.
That's right. Yeah. It's a good one.
Bob's going out to get his
he's
beer
out there. He's going out and getting a beer. Get me a beer.
And I like the change on this. I'm okay with them sneaking into the Myers house to go have sex in an abandoned house versus to go into the Wallace house. Now, I'm okay with that change.
What year is this supposed to take place? 91.
Well,
because that's a cell phone from like.
Right, she's on a cell phone.
But it does look like one of those old Nokia phones from late 90s, early 2000s.
That's what I was going to say. It looks like a late 90s model. So, definitely with her being on that type of cell phone, you're in the late 90s. You're not in early 90s because those didn't exist.
Yeah, it's not a flip phone either, which is good. Oh, here comes...
And I think Danielle Harris, there's a scene with her. She's on a portable phone as well, too, which they didn't have those in the 80s.
I find this interesting that Bob, it's kind of, and again, this is something that a creative decision that I think that I like. And what I mean by that is you show that Bob actually, in this version, was going to go up and pretend to be a ghost.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I like the liberty they took with that. Like, that's creative. That was cool.
Yeah, that's cool. And the death scene is, it's serviceable. It's what it is. But certainly I do, I thought that was fine. But again, it's just the overall, it is what it is. And certainly I could sit here and rant and rave and yell and scream. But I did that 13 years ago when this movie came out, and I wasn't on YouTube then. So, well, actually I was on YouTube. Well, I didn't, I had a channel, but I wasn't doing anything with it. Now, wouldn't you notice that he's gigantic compared to Bob? Like, Tyler Mane is 6'8". Unless, plot twist.
Barely 6 feet.
Plot twist. She does know it's somebody else, and she's just freaky like that.
Exactly. she's a freak in the sheets. I think she follows me on Instagram.
Good
Kristen,
for her.
Crystal, whatever her name is, something like that. Kristen, something.
But yeah, this is, you would know instantly that this wasn't the same person. You would know instantly. That's like me dressing up as Michael Myers, walking into a room, and then, Tyler Mane comes in. Nobody would go, Dave, come on.
You just grew a foot.
Exactly. Come on, Dave. Take that off, Dave.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with like 97, 98.
97, 98?
Yeah, because with her having that cell phone,
right,
that pretty much, because I always wondered when this movie took place. Was it early? But I always forget that Linda has that cell phone. And we did not have cell phones like that in the early 90s or even mid 90s. We didn't have that. We had the Zach Morris shit.
You know what I'm surprised he didn't do here was just take her head and like pop it off her body.
Big enough to fucking do it.
There'd be somebody out there going, yeah, Oh, fuck yeah. I fucking love that shit, man.
Stay on the job, huh, Tyler? Get to carry a naked girl across the hallway.
Yep, there you go. Not a bad job.
Michael Myers mask. I like this cameo with what's his name from the Monkees, the hunter here.
Oh yes.
What's his name?
I can't remember his name. I know who you're talking about though.
Mickey, I think is his name in real life.
I love Malcolm McDowell's beard here. It's just so like perfect. Like he's just finished grooming. He's beautifully handsome. It just looks great. And it's funny. I feel more for Laurie's mom going and being killed than I ever did.
Yes, like when Dee Wallace gets it, I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But when Mrs. Myers goes, I'm like, all right.
Well, that's because it's more relatable, right? You can relate to this family more so than you can, you know, I mean, very few people in this world in the big picture can relate to growing up in a family where they have a stepfather that yells at their mother in front of them going, I'm going to, you know, crawl over there and skull fuck you, bitch. I mean, do those families exist? Yes. Are kids growing up in those families right now? Sadly, yes. But in the big picture, very few of us who are, you know, can relate to that. And so we can relate to the cute moments here between daughter and mom and things like that. And yeah, and you feel it a bit more because of that. That's, you know, good stuff.
All right, Danielle picking up Scout.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't really see those two ever together that much.
Who's
Not
that?
as much as I see Harris with Ellie on social media. I don't see Scout and Harris. I just don't see Scout and Harris. Like, you know, like these conventions and stuff, you see Tyler there with Scout, but you never really see the girls. I'm not saying anything, but you never really see the girls together.
Oh, well, could be a distance thing or I don't know. Oh, no, wait a minute. Okay. Now he's just about to kill Dee Wallace here.
Yeah, he just stabbed the husband with the knife. Yep. Husband goes through the door.
Now, I can't say I feel a lot, but I feel more for this than I do, you know.
Yeah, because you're realizing what's about to happen here, and you're like, no, don't kill Dee. Fuck.
Yeah.
She's a national treasure for horror films.
She is.
She really is, man.
Yeah.
You think about her horror filmography, holy fuck. Cujo.
Yeah, Cujo. Well, that's why they got her in this movie too, was to add a bit of cachet, a bit of credibility to the film.
And you know, if she's willing to fucking do this and get killed by she's just cool.
Yeah, she's cool. Of course, she's
America's
tossed into the chair. But
of course, you know, E.T. obviously. It's probably the big one that she's known for. But yeah, she's like America's mom. I always forget that she's in The Hills Have Eyes.
She is.
Very young at that time.
There we go. She'd just been killed.
Snapped her neck.
Yeah.
Now where are you at? Scout's walking in talking to Tommy.
Value Brand Tommy is talking to Value Brand Lori.
Come on. Now, I will say the kid who played Tommy got on my nerves, but dude, come on. She owned this role. She did a good job. Can't be hating on that. But the kid got on my nerves. Value Brand Tommy, I'll give you that. I'll go Lori. She's like, you know, like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. That's how the two Lori performances. She's not Jamie Lee, but
wow. So you consider So you consider Scout Taylor Compton or whatever her name is the Kobe Bryant of Laurie Strode. Wow.
Yeah, she does a good job. I mean, even in the sequel, dealing with the post-traumatic stress from it all. I mean, as an actor in her performance, I'm very happy with it. Unfortunately, the films that she's in, like Halloween 2, it's a shit show. And like, you know.
And something else you want to say, but you don't want to say it?
No, I can't.
I know. No, I know.
You know what I mean?
That's an unfortunate thing, though.
That is a very unfortunate thing, but it is what it is.
Michael is, where are we here? This is a long movie. How was this movie? Wow. Yeah. It's almost 2 hours. It's about 99 minutes or too long.
See, like this version of Tommy, I don't know. I just
You don't like him?
Not this version of Tommy.
Well, he's the dollar.
I like Lindsay though. The kind of the smart ass, snarky, like
I can't even remember what Lindsay.
Yeah, well, and this is the scene here with Lindsay with Michael behind her.
Oh,
like, I'm
Lindsay.
like, okay, that's all right. I probably still would have done Michael outside the window. I mean, let's be real. We all would know if someone was standing behind us watching that fucking close.
Yeah, you would. You would.
The window there, right behind her. You see the window, right? I would have had Michael in the window.
Yeah, would have been.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. No, I agree.
This, I'm like, yeah, bro, you really got. But if you saw Michael's face there in the window, that'd be fucking creepy.
Brad Dourif here, Chucky himself.
Brad played the sheriff good. I forgot.
Yeah, he did.
He did play the sheriff very good too.
Oh yeah, he was fine.
Malcolm, Brad, and Scout. Their performances are. I would have been fine if Danielle was or wasn't in the movie. I mean, I'm not saying she was bad as Annie, but it's just like it's more of a Halloween fanboy, that I'm having with her being in the film.
Danielle Harris in this movie is fine. She's serviceable. Yeah, she's fine. She was put in this movie for obvious reasons.
For fan service.
100%. Well, and to sort of make up for
Halloween 6.
Halloween 6. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Michael, of course, behind them there. I don't know if that's necessary. It doesn't really do anything. Where are you? It's so strange. Like, well, Annie and Lindsay are walking down the sidewalk, and Michael just kind of
Loomis and bracket exchange.
The Loomis and not. Oh, I'm past that. Yeah, Tommy and Lindsay are walking down the sidewalk. Michael stepped out behind them, and it's like I didn't feel anything.
Yeah, that just happened to me now. I like that shot.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything for me.
I like it more out of focus. I don't like it in focus. I liked it for like the split second there. Yeah. And what I would have done, and what I like, where you see the shape of him coming in, it's still out of focus. But then when you go to the wide shot, he's gone.
Right.
I would have done that.
Yeah.
Where the fuck did he go?
Yeah. I hear you.
Again, calling back to the original way the shape was portrayed. He's there 1 minute, he's gone.
Yes, that's true. Yeah. Short bus. Can't say that now. He's like, he's retarded or something. He's not short bus retarded. Couldn't say.
Oh, you can't say that crap now in movies. Are you kidding?
Movie. No, can't do that.
There's a lot of stuff we can't do in movies now.
Yeah, that's what she just said in the movie. I'm just quoting her. I'm just quoting Annie. I'm quoting Danielle Harris. Don't at me. Don't tweet me. Tweet Danielle.
Where are you at in the film?
Well, Michael is standing ominously. You got the back shot. He's just looking at the.
Oh, Paul.
Yeah, Paul's about to pick.
We finally see who Paul is.
Oh, Paul, I get in your car. We're going to go have sex. We're going to go have sex.
And you didn't forget the keys.
That's right. That's right. Now, Chucky is talking to Loomis here.
Chucky's talking to Loomis. What the fuck?
Chucky's talking to Loomis. Oh, from a certain point of view, it's true. From a certain point
I got to admit,
it's true.
The teaser trailer for the Chucky series, it's piqued my interest. I'm not saying it's going to be good or bad. It piqued my interest enough to want to be somewhat excited to watch it.
I have to admit,
see it?
Yep, it did nothing for me. Only because it was essentially animated. The soundbite from Brad Dourif is a soundbite that's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
And, I know people lost their mind over the Child's Play 2 theme. That's fine. But as Cody Leach said, and I refer to Cody because obviously he's more of a Child's Play expert than I am, and he makes a very good point. He said, and he said, I'm not excited. He said, because it's nothing really there, and we don't know what Don Mancini we're going to get. Are we going to get this Don Mancini, or are we going to get that Don Mancini? Because let's not forget that Don Mancini is, yes, he might be responsible for the good stuff, but he's also responsible for the dog shit stuff too.
Well, so I'm just hoping that they go back to like old school Chucky, like the first two films.
Jennifer Tilly's in it. I don't know.
And that's what scares me. You know what I mean? Like, I was kind of hoping that we might go back to the OG Chucky, but when I hear that, and I'm like, but I'm It has me.
You're cautiously optimistic, as I like to say.
Exactly. I'm trying to like keep the positive vibe going, and I'm hopeful for it because I wasn't a fan of the remake. I don't know. Were you a fan of the remake, the one that came out last year?
I thought it was okay. I mean, for what it was, you know, I didn't hate it.
It was all right. It was all right. I mean, it was definitely better than the shit that we've gotten in the
right. Who are these people that are dead here that I'm looking at?
It's the Strodes.
Oh, right. Let's go. Come on. And then Tommy has still got his face paint on here, and Lindsay just looks, or Lori looks bored because she can't get laid. It's all right.
Are they talking about the peanut butter?
No, they're just talking about the boogeyman here.
Okay.
It's kind of a cute line, actually. Why are you avoiding this subject, Lori? It's a cute kid. Why is Lori such a bitch? Leave me alone for 5 seconds, please. Yeah, come on, Lori.
Hey, man.
Now they're tickling her, and now she's loosening.
You've ever babysat before? I've had that happen.
I've babysat a lot. Oh yeah, I have. Growing up, I did actually.
Kids can get obnoxious really quick.
Oh, they can. They can.
And then the counting here, 1, 2, 3.
No, I'm actually, Annie just got nude. Taking off Michael's coming in to spy on Danielle Harris having sex with Logan Paul. I just saw blonde hair, and that's, that's what I said. It's the first thing that popped into my head.
Boobs.
I'm sorry?
She's got nice boobs.
I can't see them. I wasn't looking. It's so dark now. I can't. I'm sure they're fine. Here comes Tyler Maine is walking over. Hey, what's going on? Imagine he's going over and it just stops and gets quiet, and you hear under the mask, "Hey, what's going on, guys?"
I think in the like an outtake or something here in this sequence with Danielle when she's crawling on the ground, he does something like that actually in an outtake. He's like, where are we going with this? I think that's what he says to her.
That'd be funny. I always liked this. I always liked her topless.
Almost getting away.
Opening the front door. Now, I'm going to give some credit here. I like the editing and the creative choice. She's topless. She opens the front door. She's about to get away. She's topless, so she's vulnerable. It's like, what the fuck's going on in there? Michael grabs her, pulls her back in, shuts the door, and it's just quiet.
Yep.
And you just hear the elements. Then we cut inside to the mayhem. I like that. That's something that I could see myself doing in the editing room as well.
This is the scene where he's standing over her. She starts to crawl. There's an outtake where she just goes, she's going, and then he's just finally like, all right, where are we going with this shit? Danielle getting her Academy
Award nominated right here. Here it is. She's being pulled away. No, that's it. And she survives because she's in Halloween too, isn't she?
And her death in Halloween 2 is rough to hear. And I'm glad they chose to do it off screen and we don't see it. Because I think as a fan of her, you think back to Jamie Lloyd and you don't want to see her get killed by Michael, I think is what it is. And I think creatively, that's why he chose to do that in Halloween 2 as an off-screen kill. Because fans still identify Danielle with the Jamie Lloyd character, even though I know she's playing Annie here. You still see her in a Halloween movie and you just think of Jamie Lloyd.
Right. Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, when I look at Danielle Harris, I never think of Annie from Rob, but that's also because I'm not a fan of the movies. I'm sure there is somebody out there who grew up with these two movies and would instantly think of these two movies when they thought of her.
Yep.
I don't. I think of, I think of 4 and 5, obviously, but I also think of The Last Boy Scout.
With Stallone?
Yeah, no, with...
that's Daybreak or Daylight with Stallone.
Daylight. That's Daylight. I think of The Last Boy Scout with
Willis and
Bruce Willis and Damon Wayans. Is it?
Yeah, one of the Wayans.
Yeah, one of the Wayans. I also think of Roseanne, obviously. She was on Roseanne.
Yeah, she was on Roseanne for a bit. Yep.
She played the tough girl. It's just essentially her playing herself, I think. And I like the choice there. Again, she's got one boot on, one boot off. I like that. It's little things like that that speak to the bigger part of, you know, it's like what, like it creates a sense of urgency and mayhem and commotion and you know, you got one boot on, one boot off. She's topless. Like, what the fuck is going on in here? Like, what happened in here? You know, the hanging of the guy.
You're at the hanging of the guy.
Well, the door is just closing, and there's Michael right there. He's in the house. He's gonna be going after Lori now. So he's wanted this whole time. He's in the background.
God, I have to fast forward to catch up to you. I was back at where Loomis and Brackett were talking to each other. Where are you?
Annie's lying on the ground, topless, blood all over her. Michael is tilting his head at the boyfriend, I guess. He hung up there with a pumpkin over his head. He just pushes the boyfriend, looking at him, staring at him. I don't think this is necessary because I think he would have done that when he hung him up. I don't know why he's taking an interest in him all of a sudden now. I think that's just purely for the audience. I think we should have seen him maybe hang him up with a pumpkin over his head and then look at him.
And then do the head tilt.
Yeah. Then I guess you could say, well, maybe he's doing it twice, Dave. Why can he do it twice? That's true. I guess maybe. Maybe. This is Brackett. What's the nature of the emergency? He's very calm. He's found her, for God's sakes. Let's go. Come on. This sound here, I like that. A little bit of the sound design there. I like that little.
And then, of course, we got the classic stock theme.
Yeah,
again,
Tyler
did a really good job with that.
Yeah.
And I like it.
It's good.
This whole scene is really good.
Yeah, Michael walking through the space there, and you see the light, his mask hitting the light, light, darkness. Very well done. Very well done.
Her screaming on the street and the music going. Like, it's good. It's a well done scene.
The leaves blowing was a very nice touch. Yep. It's great.
You believe her fear, going up the road.
Yes, it's great performance.
It's different from Jamie Lee. Jamie Lee's was this, similar, but it's just a different type of scene and different type of move.
This in a vacuum, watching this scene in a vacuum is fine, right? Watching this scene, for me, watching this in a vacuum is fine. It was a nice moment.
Yeah,
it was a nice moment. I had no issues with it. It feels like Halloween. A newer version of Halloween, but it feels, again, there's nothing, again, watching this in a vacuum, you know what I mean? Which, of course, you can never do because there's context and, there's a larger picture at play when you watch a movie, but.
Yeah. And they're running into the bathroom now, right?
Yeah, yes, they are. And Lindsay screaming, that little girl's got a set of lungs on her, boy. I wonder what she's doing now, because she'd probably be in her 20s now. I wonder what she's doing now, and whether she's in horror movies. Let's see if I'll contact her agent, get her in a fan film. I like this moment too. The cops coming into the house. It's quiet. You just see their lights and their guns, and it's quiet. You hear the TV on in the background, the sirens in the background. Again,
space, right?
Sorry,
the thing from outer space that's on the TV.
Right? Yeah. Like I like that. Like, this is a nice moment. The kids in the bathroom are able to unlock the door. Again, I'm giving credit where I think it's due. This is a nice moment. There's actual suspense here, where we've seen very little of in this entire movie. There's a moment here where you're thinking, where is he? What's going on? What's happening? Are we safe, or is this a false sense of security? Like, again, watching this in a vacuum, you're like, oh, this is kind of nice. Like, if I hadn't seen this movie and this was a clip they, released on its own, I'd be like, oh, this is interesting. I want to see this. This is kind of well done. But of course, nobody releases anything in a vacuum. Well, you know what I mean. I don't know why he just didn't do that before.
Playing cat and mouse with them.
Yeah, well.
Shoulder shot.
Shoulder shot. Come on, when you're that close, you got to hit him in the chest. And you got to go off. Dun, 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 dun. You don't shoot him once when you're that close. You hit him in the shoulder. Come on.
This is where you need Chris Evans to say, if you die, walk it off.
I ain't got time to bleed.
Little Avengers joke. Those in the chat know what I'm talking about.
Michael just ain't got time to bleed.
Yeah, that too. Ain't got time to bleed.
No. Love the wind, the leaves blowing. It's nice.
It's good. And the OG
here's what I want to know.
In the background with the piano.
Now, wait though. Yes, I agree. She was just
atmosphere music.
Yeah, she was literally just screaming for her life, and now Michael's carrying her unconscious down the sidewalk. What happened? Did she
Mike Tyson her ass, man? What do you think?
No, but as
girl, stop screaming. Clap.
I would have liked to have seen it. Hey, if you're going to make this kind of a movie, show us. I mean,
maybe she screamed herself to blacking out and passing out.
She screamed herself to sleep. Maybe. I think she screamed herself to sleep.
So much you pass out.
I want to see it. She screamed herself to sleep.
Finds Annie, right? Are you where Brackett finds his daughter?
At the Brackett, yes, okay. Right this very second. Yeah, he's found her. Annie, and it's me.
She knows how to die. I will give Danielle that. She knows how to play a victim, and she knows how to die.
You know what somebody needs to do is they need to splice this into Halloween 6. Into Halloween 6.
No.
Splice the death into Halloween 6. Make it a fan edit.
You're gonna redeem that character, man. No.
No. Well, yeah, but that's what you would want. No, but that's what you would want, right? I
don't mind killing the character off, but I certainly would love if I were given the opportunity, I would totally retcon 5 and 6 and give her a chance to redeem the character, maybe for 2 films. And I wouldn't mind if she was okay with it, saying, "Hey, listen, do you mind? We did 2 of them. You die in the second one." Just throwing it out there, Danielle. Come on.
Does she have Instagram?
Yeah, I follow her. I follow her and Nev. Those are the only two.
Is she active on Instagram?
Yeah, steady. You know,
she's a mom. She's got a couple kids, I think, and one who's fairly young. So I'm sure she's busy. Oh, she was a slut. Who cares? No, Scout's performance is good.
It's good.
I believe
you
her.
Feel her. You see her praying to get her friend to wake up.
With her performance here in the crying, she's moved from value brand to.
I don't mind this. I wish they would have began the stalking again. Like this whole thing where he drops down, unmasks himself, and shows her the picture. I'm just like, not again a bad creative choice. To me, if I would have had her and I turned around, bam, you come in with that stalking theme again. She gets up and starts running to try to get away from him. You don't have this moment like this because it takes away from who Michael is.
This whole movie is taken. Well, but to be fair, the whole movie is taken away from who Michael is. So I guess I see your point, but I mean the entire movie is like seeing Michael do this kind of thing in like Halloween 5, although 5's taking it away too. But Michael taking something out of his pocket and showing the photo, showing the picture, it's very, it's a different Michael. It's a different Michael, you know? Yeah. Funny, this never really bothered me per se, because I'm like, well, he's just a dude. He's just, you know, if he did this in the original film, I would have been like, what the fuck's going on here? How's he doing?
Yeah, I don't know.
I agree. But how you're feeling right now?
Right now, I'm just like, no.
Do you know how you're feeling right now?
Yeah.
Watching this, I feel exactly what you're feeling right now watching this whole fucking movie.
Oh, see, I only have it. This is my only one really big like bummer moment. Like you were so there with it, the intensity and everything that you just had us go through. Like if you just skipped this and gone straight back into him, her trying to get out of the house and him stalking her again. You just didn't need this moment.
Or, plot twist, Lori is so fascinated by this, she decides to join Michael, and they become a team, and they go on a killing spree, and that is Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. You might as well at this point. I mean, think about that.
You're totally skipping out on contacting Derek Mears to, Avenger it up, man, and fucking go on a killing spree with
Let's do it. Let's do it. Hey, you know what? That may have been a better Halloween 2. Lori and Michael...
Freddy the second, and then remake as well too.
No, hang on. Scout Taylor Compton, that's her name, right? Scout Taylor, yeah. Scout and Tyler Main, they team up. Halloween 2, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. They're teaming up. They're wrecking fucking havoc all over Haddonfield. They're tearing shit up. And it's just like, oh my God, you know what I mean? And he becomes the protector. He's the protector of his little girl, and it's like his little girl, his younger sister, and it's like she gives in. She's enamored with it, and she's like, yes, master, yes. There's a whole plot twist. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, it wouldn't have been any more shitty than what you got.
Fucking theme is on.
Yeah, it just started right now.
All that bullshit and went straight to this.
But we needed to show that Michael feels something for her.
Fuck feelings.
Fuck this movie. That's what
Not fuck the movie, but fuck the feelings.
Yeah, fuck this movie.
I like this. I like everything here. She's trying to get out. He's busting through the old fucking wood.
Oh yeah, it's great. It's well shot. It looks great.
They should not have given us this like bullshit moment of him fucking kneel before Zod fucking shit and taking off the mask. Superman reference for those who don't know that. And this is where they should have gone straight into it. Not have this fucking long drawn out moment like they did. And then she fucking takes a shitter into the pool.
I literally thought you just said, and then she takes a shit in the pool.
Shitter in the pool.
You might as well.
Every skater out there, including myself, is thinking, okay, so what can we do here?
I'm telling you right now, she just took a shit in the pool. I mean, that's what happened. It's in her pants. It's in her pants.
That would be fucking deadly. Jesus.
What's that?
I'm just looking at the angle of the pool and looking at the drop. I'm like,
taking a shit? Yeah, that'd be a hell of a shit.
Dropping in on my board and dropping into the wall.
Oh, dropping. I thought you meant dropping a deuce in the pool.
But I'm looking at the angle of the way the pool is, and I'm like, dude, I would fucking bust my fucking head if I did it from that angle.
Well, here comes Dr. Loomis in a second.
Huh?
Dr. Loomis is coming in a second, right? And he shoots Michael.
Yeah, he starts calling out to...
Yeah, Michael! I've hardly been in this movie, but I need to show up at the end and shoot you. Michael!
What? Stop! You abandoned my ass.
But that's literally what he sounded like. He went, Michael! Like his voice cracked. He looks like, I don't give a fuck. Keeps going.
Ray, space, right? Tell me that drop, though, that vert on that freaking pool, man. You looking at that like, no, bro. I don't even think Hawk would do that type of a drop because it's too it's too straight. You're just basically going straight down and you're going to fucking crack your skull.
There he goes.
But if it had just a little bit more, it'd be a cool pool to drop into and skate.
I'm just disappointed she didn't take a shit.
No.
She's running. She gets to the edge of the pool. She
took a shitter.
Yes, it's symbolic of the movie. I'm
It's not that bad. Number 6 on my list.
We knew this was going to happen.
Well, I knew I liked it and you didn't like it. I knew that.
Yeah, of course. It was all in good fun. We're just having fun. We're having fun. He ain't dead because doesn't he smash his hand through the window in the car in the police car here? I think.
Yeah, and Malcolm freaks out.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, goddamn fuck shit, fuck poo, shit poo, poo. Ah!
Although we haven't gotten a lot of garbage tonight from you. You didn't say garbage.
Garbage?
You didn't say garbage.
Okay, well let me tell you right now. Okay, well, I'll tell you right now, this movie is garbage. This movie is a. Do I even do it? Do I have? Here you go. Okay, that is a fucking shit show. There you go. There it is. That's it, folks. That's it.
No, David Lee Barron, I don't think I don't think the mask is that bad. I like it weathered. I don't like it new. I actually like it weathered. It looks good. And the way they light it at night, I think they did very well with it. During the day or when it was more clean, I didn't like that version of it.
Right. My gold sacks, listen to me.
You know, like throwing the old school line there like that, you know, like was that the boogeyman? As a matter of fact, I do believe it was. Like, okay, like I don't even think you needed that line.
No, you didn't. And I mean, it literally looks like he just kills him here. Kills Dr. Loomis.
Envoy, Daniel or Scout? Who would you rather? Scout any day of the week and twice on Sunday. Scout's got an ass that's just fucking, you bounce a quarter off that thing.
I don't know.
Bounce back and catch it. Like Danielle really was like more my first crush when I was a kid in Halloween 4. You know what I mean? I didn't really follow her career all that much, but it was just that like I was at that age. I was 10 and I'm seeing Halloween 4 for the first time, and I'm like, oh, there's a cute girl in this movie.
Right.
Yes, Jim. Scout's got a roast beef for you. Yeah, she does. Scout's got a nice. I knew that was gonna get you. Hey man, I've been pretty clean for the last couple months. I haven't had too many ass comments in a while.
That's true. I gotta get some sort of soundbite on here with you talking about asses. I think that's what I need to do. That'd be funny. I gotta get a soundbite of Tony going that ass, or like Al Pacino. Al Pacino.
Probably say I offended her, and I don't mean any offense by it, Scout. I'm just paying you a compliment. You got.
I gotta get a soundbite with Al Pacino going great ass. Because he says that, I think, in Heat or something, or one of his movies. He's like, great ass. That's what I have to get for Tony. That'd be funny. I think it's safe to say Tony's an ass man. I'm the ass man.
Especially like when you look at Scout here, and of course she's young. She's like 19, I think, when she made this movie.
She's 12.
But now when you look at her, I mean, she's a nice looking woman. She's a grown woman. She's fucking sexy as hell.
Oh, she's 75 now. I mean, yeah.
No, she's got to be about a decade younger than us, right?
She is. I'm just kidding. Yeah. This fucking movie's long. Holy shit.
Where are you at?
Lori is hiding, looking through the thing. Michael's there kind of with the butcher knife trying to find her, standing in the room. She's peering at him through the wall. Right. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Where I got the idea for that in my Friday the 13th picture.
Nice.
The hiding in an obvious place.
The screen one you posted I like.
Oh, the Scream one that I did today? Yeah,
it was good. Yeah, I like it a lot. I like the hand about to pick up the phone, and I like it a lot. Really, really well done, man. Yeah. Michael here, he takes off his mask, he sits down, he starts.
She's a decade younger than us.
Yeah. No, I know she's a lot younger. I
didn't know for sure if it was 10 years. I didn't know if it was like between 5 to 10 years younger than us.
Yeah. No, she's 86.
She's 169.
Dude, she's 55 in this movie. Oil of Olay 38 times a day. I'm telling you, it's incredible.
Oil of Olay 38 times a day. Yeah. I am stealing it, and I'm going to use it. I don't know when or who, but someone's getting that comment.
Oil of Olay 38 times a day. Scout Taylor Compton, she's 56 years old in this movie. It's unbelievable.
Unbelievable. That's what I hope people understand why now I did the photo the way I did. It's like, it's so obvious that he should find her. She's hiding in the most obvious place, even with her hands covered. And that's why I created the photo of the Jason picture like that. Cause it's like horror movies are notorious. It's not just this. This is not picking on Halloween. It's every horror movie. The person is always hiding in the most obvious place. And you're like, Come on, you know the killer would actually find her.
Imagine all of it. Can you imagine? Michael's here, right? He's walking. It cuts away. We see Laurie. It cuts back to Michael, and he's naked.
With a birthday bow on him.
Yeah. And then it cuts away and cuts back to him, and he's back to normal.
No.
No, imagine it cuts to Laurie. She's trying to escape. Cuts back to Michael. He's completely nude. It cuts back to Laurie. Cuts back to Michael, and he's totally fine again. It's like they made a mistake in the edit. But here's the thing. If it's a mistake in the edit, why were they shooting that version anyway? You mean there was a version of this scene when Michael was nude? Oh, fuck, man.
Climbing up into the roof?
She is. Yeah, and he's got the 2x4 and he's doing this into the ceiling. And he's naked.
Okay, you're at the 2x4.
I'm at the 2x4 point. Yep. Totally. He's so fucking funny, man. He's so great.
Yeah, that mask is really good. I do like it. The problem with doing Rob Zombie's Michael in a photo shoot, I need someone like Tyler Maine's height. I can't. It wouldn't do it justice to do if I had a 6'2" guy, it still wouldn't do it justice. I need someone with that height and physique if I were to ever do a photo shoot.
Yeah. This is so. I gotta admit, this is long. This is long.
What, the Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Michael Myers?
Just the whole fucking end of this movie is long. This could have ended like 15 minutes ago.
Is he still busting through the thing?
No, she's falling through the ceiling. She's got the gun in her hand. She's crawling. She looks like she looks like she just came back from a punk concert in the 80s. Her hair all over the place. She looks like, yeah.
She looks like our date on Saturday night.
There you go. That's a nice, very well lit shot of Michael Myers there. I like that shot. Yeah, he's naked again. All of a sudden, what the fuck's going on? Oh, and now he's dressed. What the hell's going on here?
Oh, the split lighting. Yeah, it's a good shot. I like that.
And through they go over the balcony. And then we wake up and she'll shoot him in the face, I think, right? I think that's how that does.
It starts to scream.
Oh, that's right. And here's the thing, like, if she look at the blood that's all over her face after she shoots him. I mean, clearly it looks like she shot him like right in the face.
I'm just wondering how she got on top of him though. Because like when you see them fall, well, no, they're separated in the fall.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
And now she's kind of across him.
But if she shoots him point blank in the face and he's a human being, I don't know if he'd be alive. I don't know if there's a part 2. Because the amount of blood that's all over her face after she shoots him.
Yeah, I never understood the logic of where the bullet went. Does it scrape him? Is she like, I mean,
look at the amount of blood. Shot. But yeah, and she's like, look, she's what, like an inch or 2 from his face?
Yeah, like this really there never should have been a sequel. Although again, I will say the opening, the hospital sequence there it's fucking well done.
Yeah. But watch the blood on her face.
I guess you could have added the hospital sequence into this as the end of the film.
Like all the blood goes all over her face there. Look at this. She totally, I think she shot him point blank, like right in the brain. And you know what? You should just ended it there. Just never made another one.
Well, I don't know. Like he grabs her and he forces it down. Does he get more of a shoulder shot or a chest shot instead of a head shot?
I don't feel that.
And it's tough. It's because of the way the motion of his hand and how he's pushing down, and she goes and it lowers. Either way, we made it through it.
It's produced by Harvey Weinstein. Good old Harvey Weinstein. I hear he's a hell of a guy.
Yeah, right. How's he doing in his 4x4 self?
A fucking piece of shit. So folks, that's it. That is Rob Zombie's Halloween from 2007. Did you guys watch along? Did you guys enjoy the movie? Is it your favorite movie of all time? It's got to be somebody's out there. I think at one point we had about 316 people watching at one point. We still have 250 that have stayed with us. Amazing. You guys are phenomenal. I think we should move over to the chat room, Tony, and see what people are saying.
I was thinking about it tonight before we went live that 250 plus on average, 200 watch us on a weekly basis. And the fact that we can't even show the movie and you guys just sit here and hang out with us and watch us talk as we're watching. It's pretty cool that you guys do it.
Oh, it's incredible. It's amazing that it's awesome that we are entertaining enough that we keep your your interest for that long.
You're here. So yeah, let's get to those super chats. I know you got to go all the way back to the beginning. So
I do. So 1 second here. I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to go to my YouTube studio here and do that. So oh, Paul, I give you all, but no keys, but please, my Paul.
We're gonna have to do that movie again live at some point. I know we already did it, but maybe in a year from now.
We'll do it again, or we'll just do that scene live.
Yeah, there you go.
Robert Andrew Paul sends in a super chat and says, "I'm nervous. I love this film." Todd Fayer sends in a super chat and says, "Halloween 07 was a masterpiece compared to the current state of Halloween." Oh yeah, Todd Fayer is a big Halloween 18 hater, folks.
Dude, I don't know if you're watching.
And thank you for the generous super chat, man.
Yeah, and Todd, you haven't reached out to me yet, buddy. You were the highest super chatter last week, and you got a print from me any of the photos.
That's right.
11 by 17. So make sure you hit me up on Instagram and with a DM so I can get you whatever you want.
That's right. Power Packers. No, excuse me. Dylan Holm. Am I saying that right? £5 super chat. Thank you, buddy. He says Rob Zombie's problem is that he doesn't branch out as a director in terms of style and execution, but this is my favorite zombie film. H2 is even worse. I agree with what you've said there. Yeah. Power Packers 90s super chat. Thank you. Says as a Kiss fan, I loved hearing God of Thunder.
Yeah, that's in the soundtrack. He needs to release this on vinyl.
He should. It might not be up to him, but yeah.
No, I know. He uses a lot of copyright music, so yeah, I'm sure it's not solely up to him.
Yeah. Tyler Davis sends us in a super chat and says, "What is your favorite Rob Zombie film?" I don't particularly like any of them, but if I had to, the one zombie film I watched where I was like, oh, that was kind of, because I would have been the first Devil's Rejects, where I was kind of like, oh, this is, but then once I realized that that's just every Rob Zombie movie, essentially. I know there's a couple that might not be, but essentially it's just his style. I sort of was like, oh, it's an acquired taste for me. So I don't mind watching like a movie that's kind of like that. It'd be like imagine if every, if every James Wan movie was, like Saw, like every James Wan movie was like, had the same people and the same level of blood and the same kind of I guess it's not really a good example, but just, I just started, I was like, oh, I don't really like, it's an acquired taste for me. I'm not into, hick ta hey movies with, exploitation. Like it's a very niche thing. But that's just what Rob does. He just seems to do that. So I'd say the Devil's Rejects, Tony. What about you?
It's definitely a toss-up between Devil's Rejects and I do like Lords of Salem. It's interesting. Lords of Salem is
check it out.
It's different than what you're describing in the typical zombie type movies. Creative, interesting. Gets into a lot of the witchcraft stuff. Not spoiling anything, but it's interesting in how he delivers on it. It's what I wanted Midsummer to be, and didn't really deliver for me. Is what I'll say about Lords of Salem. But I do like House of a Thousand Corpse as well too. I am a fan of that. Three from Hell was okay. I mean, it completes the trilogy, but honestly, he could have really stopped at Devil's Rejects. He didn't have to. I mean, it's cool that he did. It was cool to see the three of them again. Obviously, with the passing of Sid, we got to see him portray the character one more time. 31, it's okay. It's probably at the bottom of my list with Halloween 2, and then right. Halloween for him, it fits in the middle. I'd have to go with Devil's Rejects, Lords of Salem, and probably House of a Thousand Corpses are like my three faves.
Cool. Yeah. Cool. Let's see here. Schnip. I love that name. Schnip. $4.99 super chat. Thank you. Says just finished an outline treatment for my first script. Well, congratulations. I have more anxiety now that this is finally taking shape than I did when it was just an idea. And you'll have more anxiety the further you go along. But it's good anxiety. Congratulations, man. That's awesome.
Good shit.
Yeah, for sure. Intel Wild sends in a generous super chat. Thank you, Intel. Says, hey, Dave, don't hold back. Tell us how you really feel.
Oh, I think we know.
I tried to keep it tame, you know. Jim Sereno. Thank you, buddy. Says, Dave, it's Rob's Halloween, not Carpenter's, buddy. I know that.
You know that.
I'm aware of that. That's why I don't like it. Because I don't like what Rob Zombie did. Tom Buckingham says, sends in £2. Who would be your choice to play Loomis current day?
Current day. So if like you were redoing the series or
I don't know. It all depends on I'm not sure. I know some people have said James McAvoy. Yeah, is that the one you're thinking?
McAvoy would be pretty good, you know?
Yeah. I know you pointed that out because of that
poster that I saw. There was someone did a fan art, and I really wish I knew who the guy that did this because it was really creative. They did their like what if scenario if instead of doing the retconning, you know, all this shit restarting. What if H40 was actually picking up from where H2O left off? You bring back Josh Hartnett in the shot, a couple other people, and McAvoy was in the center. Like McAvoy, if he wasn't Loomis, he definitely looks like he could be a descendant, like a kid or something or whatever, a Loomis connection.
Yeah, he's certainly not old enough to be
he's not old
Loomis enough in an H2O sequel. Because
he'd be like a kid or something.
Yeah, exactly. But if you wanted to like start over, you know, it's not a bad choice.
No, not
a bad choice. Let me see. Where were we here? Yes. So David Lee Barron, $4.99 super chat. Thank you, buddy. Says the actress playing Judith is the actress who played Kid Jenny in Forrest Gump.
Right.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's right. The Judith in this is Kid Jenny.
Okay, pretty cool. I did not know that. $2 super chat from Southpaw82 says, I can handle H07, H5, Resurrection, H2O. H2O is the worst, according to Southpaw82. Interesting. There's something you don't hear every day. Thank you for your thoughts. Appreciate that. Tom Ferreira, $4.99 super chat says, I hate that they tried to make Michael Myers sympathetic. Oh, I see what you're saying. I was just going to say
in this movie,
right? Yeah, I don't think Michael's particularly sympathetic. Towards Laurie, he tries.
Towards Laurie, he is. Yeah, and I agree with that.
Yeah, Michael should never be sympathetic. Agreed. It's what I hate about the Rob Zombie version. Yeah, there's a lot of things. Again, yeah, it's you know, I agree. Power Packers 90 super chat. Thank you, buddy. Says, is the Laurie stuff 2007? Or the 70s cell phone, or hashtag cell phones. Yeah, it would have been.
We think it's probably late 90s. Like 97, 98. Because the type of cell phone she's using, that Linda's using in the Myers house, is around that time frame of when those types of phones were being used. You get to 2007, you're dialing close to the first iPhone. You've got the Blackberries at that time as well too. That was pretty, and then like Dave said, the Nokias. You had more sleek flip phones that were really thin. But the one Linda's using is more that late 90s type cell phone. So it's probably somewhere in the late 90s.
I agree. And I actually still have every cell phone I've ever had. I still have.
Same.
Yep. I keep them in a little box. And the very first one I had was those old and extremely popular Nokia phones, the black ones.
Yeah.
That was the first one I ever had.
I have the Scream one, the black phone right there. I use it on my Scream shoots.
Cool. I had that, and then I had a Samsung flip phone, and then I went to the BlackBerry, and then after the BlackBerry, I went to, up here in Canada, it was called, it's essentially the Galaxy S1, but nobody called it that. Even Samsung didn't call it that at the time. It was called, I think it was called a couple of different things depending on where it was released. Here in Canada, it was called the Samsung Captivate, which is essentially your GS1. And then after that, the newer version after that was called the Galaxy S2. But I had the Captivate or the S1, and then I had the S2, the S3. No, sorry, I had the S1, the S3, and then the S6, and now I have the 9. But I think they're up to I think they've gone to I think they went to 10, and now they're doing 20, 30, 40. They're doing it like that, like the iPhone is or something now. But anyway, yeah, I have all my phones still.
Nice.
Phil Mydeek, USD, $5 super chat. Thank you, buddy. Says, hey, Dave and Tony. Hey, Phil. What's going on?
Hey.
Jim Sereno, $2 super chat, says, Michael saved a raped woman? My hero.
Oh, that's in the one version that I was watching. Yeah, he does. I mean, the rape scene doesn't last very long, but he ultimately saves and he doesn't do anything to the girl, but he kills the two guards.
See, and I would feel more empathy, or I'd feel more if he didn't then just turn around and try to kill a bunch of other people who are innocent people, I don't know, Laurie's foster parents, and I don't know, his sister, Laurie. You know what I mean? Okay, so he saved a rape. Well, but what is that like? Okay, so what? Why did he do that? Hey, hang on a sec here. I can kill and murder a lot of people, a lot of innocent people. But if I see somebody raping somebody, well, that's just, and is it wrong? Well, of course it is, but that's a weird sort of dichotomy there, in my opinion. But,
well, I mean, you can say the same thing like in the original film, he doesn't kill the kids. You know what I mean? Would he have killed the kids if the opportunity presented itself? I don't know. That's the $1 million question.
Well, yeah, but I mean that. I mean in the sense that he saves a woman being raped. That's a very virtuous, good thing, but he's still a murderer. He's still. It doesn't make up for it doesn't make up for the fact that he's still a murderer. Yeah, and it's sort of well, but you just go off and kill innocent people. But hang on a sec, I'm going to save this woman from being. Why do you care? What part? Why do you care? I mean, you even yourself were on the verge of maybe even raping your own sister, Judith. I don't know. Yeah, you were, touching her in a weird way. Who knows what kind of weird incestuous things happened in that household? Who the fuck knows? It just was a strange sort of, thing for Michael to do. It
was definitely an interesting creative decision to do, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Genesis Knight, super chat. Thank you, buddy. Says, Dave and Tony, I feel like the studio should have stopped Rob Zombie from giving Michael a backstory. It took away the mystery. Also, who thought Rob Zombie was a good idea? I don't know. I gotta watch more of the documentaries about this because, admittedly,
he wanted to do it. He got the okay from the studio. I think, and then didn't he call Carpenter say I'm doing Halloween, and that was that, right?
Yeah, and him and Carpenter were not. Yeah. Carpenter had some things to say about it for sure. Jim Sereno says, and to your point, yeah, I'm not sure. I feel like the studio should have stopped Rob Zombie. Well, I mean, it would have been who was it? Was Dimension? So, but it was Malika Akkad helped produce. I mean, there's a number of companies involved when making a movie. Often. And so there's a lot of cooks in the kitchen.
A lot of cooks in the kitchen. And that's what the shitty thing about movie making.
Yeah, I don't know. I just would not have. It's just a creative choice. I just wouldn't have been let's get Rob Zombie to do it. But I think the idea was probably that the thought process was probably they've exhausted everything. Because let's not forget, this is 5 years after Resurrection. So... Yeah, I think they had just exhausted that version of Michael, because as I've said, these guys have shelf lives. And I think, ironically,
well, and that was also on the run of all the remakes starting to happen. Texas Chainsaw.
It was. Yeah. You're bang on, and I think, ironically, and this goes back to what I said at the beginning of the. Hang on a sec here. I lost my. 1 second here.
The remake boom, I should say, 'cause that was all of us were being at that time.
Exactly, but I think, ironically, it went against. I think that because Rob Zombie came with a vision that was such a stark contrast to what Michael is and what Halloween is and what it became and the mythology and the lore, I think in an ironic way, I wouldn't have approved it, but I think they did, because they thought, well, maybe this will work. It's so different. It's a complete 180 from anything anything anybody's ever seen, that maybe.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that I think ironically that was what was attractive to Malek Akkad or whoever. I mean, I think it was sort of like, well, we're not doing the same thing over again, which they did, they did, but they didn't, you know what I mean? But, I mean, okay, it is what it is though. Jim Serrano says, $5 super chat. Thanks, boy. Says, at least these kids flip the F out. Oh, flip the F word out, I guess. I'm assuming you mean out when they see Michael, unlike that funny little kid in Halloween 2018. That's a good point. I definitely will say that if you're looking at Tommy and Lindsay in this movie, that is the kind of reaction that Julian should have had in 18.
Yeah, that
100%. I agree with that. Sorry.
No, I'm just saying, don't get me started on the kids' reaction in the 2018 film, because we'll be here all night. So.
Yeah, like when you see Tommy and Lindsay, the fear that is on Lindsay, and she's screaming.
Total fear, yep.
That is what we should have seen in Halloween 18. I actually agree with that fully, 100%. 100%. David Lee Bear in Super Chat, thank you, buddy. He says, do y'all think the mask in H07 was horrible? No, I don't think so. I take it over 5, and I take it over 6, and even H2O.
It's probably my second favorite to the OG original mask. Although 4, man, I ain't ashamed to say it. I'm gonna be proud and hold my ground. 4 is really growing back on me, because I was a big fan of the 4 mask when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Then I kind of outgrew it in my adult years, but now all of a sudden in my adult years, past my bullshit 20 and 30 stages, I look at the 4 mask a little bit different now, and I like it. So if I were to say my favorite masks in the run from 78 to 18, definitely the original Rob Zombie's, this one here, that when it gets weathered, I really fucking love it, and how they lit it. That just fucking looks really cool. And the 4 mask is growing on me. The curse mask is not bad. There were some really cool scenes that were shot with the curse mask that I liked as well too.
Yeah.
What about you? What are your favorites in the series?
Well, the original is my favorite. Yeah, beyond the original, I would say this. The Rob's. I mean, I like the H18 mask. Rob Zombie's mask in the first film is fine, and then the Resurrection mask is probably the best, most close.
That was a decent mask. Yeah.
Shitty the movie, closest. But the thing that I don't like about it is they didn't paint the eyebrows white. And I think if they'd painted the eyebrows white and just messed the hair a bit more, I didn't like the movie. I think it's dog shit. But the mask, I think, is.
What about maybe fade the eyebrows instead of paint it? Fade it a little bit. Get it a little bit more distressed.
I don't know.
In the resurrection mask.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'd have to see what it looked like.
That gives me an idea.
There you go. Let's see here. Let me see if we can get so we got a bunch of super chats here. Let's see if we can get a non-super chat in here. Bump of the Night Studio says, I feel like Salem ended abruptly. Yeah, kind of did.
Lords of Salem. I agree.
Yep. Ray's Peace says, I would like to see Jay from Wham in a serious Loomis role. I don't know if Jay from Wham could do a serious Loomis role.
Plenty of them, so that's for sure.
Robert said, and he sounds more like a German Nazi, I think. Than he said, yeah, all right. So funny. Robert Thidoff says, most, of course, when I do it, I'm always like 3 sheets to the wind. That's where I do mine, Loomis. Robert Thidoff says, most anticipated movie you looked forward to watching, but you ended up more disappointed. Mine was Wall Street 2, Money Never Sleeps. Mine's The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi, as I've said, is the single most disappointing movie-going experience of my entire life.
What
about you?
A movie that I was most, probably the 2018 Halloween film. I was really looking forward to it because I thought I was going in there and gonna get something else than what I ultimately got, because I was told that this was going to retcon, that it was going to have nothing to do with anything from the past, but then I just kept being reminded of the past throughout the whole fucking movie. That really fucking pissed me off. But there's a caveat to that. I was also sitting next to an obnoxious fucking person. So that also probably played a big part to my movie going experience with that. And it sucks. It sucks when you're in a packed house and you really don't have a fucking another place to fucking go to, and you're dealing with an obnoxious fucking person next to you. And it's just like, fuck, you know? So there's that combination of that. But I still was disappointed in the movie. That just fucking added more.
What were they doing that was so obnoxious?
It's like fucking this every 2 seconds. Like, it's just like,
how old were they?
Probably late teens, early 20s, just somewhere in that college age group.
80, 85. No,
no, they were young adults. I don't want to say kids. They were young adults. They were definitely old enough to know, like, you're being a dick right now. Put your fucking phone away. You know better. You know what I mean? Like, you have an adult. You shouldn't have someone like me, a grown adult, tell you, who's probably in your 20s, you shouldn't have your phone out and don't be disrespectful. That's why I hate going to movies now, man. The movie going audience today, no offense, it fucking sucks. Because you're constantly fucking seeing people pick up the phone and kids fucking talking in the movie. Like, we didn't do this shit back in the day. No, we were doing one or two things back in the day. We were either paying attention to the fucking movie or we were at least trying to make out with our girlfriend.
Do you know that the only noise you should hear from the audience during a movie, during any movie, is a genuine reaction to what is happening on screen. Right. So if something scares you, if you're watching a horror movie, it's always fun to be in a packed theater where you hear a bunch of screams or you hear a bunch of, oh shit, you know, like that's fun. As long as it, you know, it's not like, oh shit, oh my God, wow, holy fuck. No, shut up. You can say, oh shit, but you don't have to fucking have a long conversation with the guy next to you. That's fine. Or if there's like a cheer, you know what I mean? Because you see something come on screen. But but be careful too, because you don't want to cheer and have it go on forever, because then people are talking on the screen. I can't fucking hear what they're saying. But to have genuine emotional responses to what you see on screen is fine. But I agree with Tony. Like I said, I always tell this too. There was that time where I went to see Godzilla, King of the Monsters. This is just a couple of years ago. Last year, maybe? Was it last year? Anyway. I'm sitting in the movie theater, myself and my girlfriend, and there's a guy in front of me, and he's on his phone. He looks about, 20, something like that, whatever. And I'm like, okay, fine. The movie hasn't begun yet. He's on his phone. It looks like he's playing some game. And I think he was by himself. I'm not sure. But anyway, so then the trailers begin. And he's still on his phone, and the lights go down and the trailers begin. And I'm like, okay, now he's in front of me, right? So that light is coming up at me. Like, how, it's the stadium style seating, right? So the light sort of coming up at me, and I'm like, okay, well, it's the trailers. All right. Okay. I'm monitoring, Then the movie begins and the Warner Brothers logo comes on. I think it's Warner Brothers. Anyway, it comes on and the movie begins and he's still there. And I lean over. So now my face is right here. And all I said, and I said it exactly like this. I said, "You're going to want to put that away." and he goes,
"Serious, Dave."
And he puts it away. And I'm like, what fucking planet are, like, okay, you know what? The movie hasn't begun yet. The movie's begun and you're neck deep into, I don't know, Candy Crush or something. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Get the fuck out of the theater. What'd you sit here to pay for this shit? Kids today, man, what the fuck? Like, put it down.
My buddy Devin were just saying this. The movie-going experience, movie etiquette is gone. Like, there's no respect in the theater anymore. And it does that's why people are like, why didn't you go see Dr. Sleep? Why didn't you go see this movie? Like, I don't go to movies. And like, I will go see Halloween, obviously. They're in The Conjuring when that comes, and Maverick, Top Gun. There are a handful of movies I will go see, but for the most part, I don't go anymore because the modern movie going audience, they have no etiquette. They have no respect. I don't know what the fuck happened. You know, like I said, we were teenagers once too. Don't get me wrong, man. Like, I'm not trying to preach like an old dude here, but we did our shit. We got into our shenanigans, but there's just certain things we didn't do. When we went to the movies, we went there to go fucking watch. Like I said, we were either paying attention to the movie or we were trying to make out with our girlfriend. We weren't talking. We weren't but at the same time, we didn't have cell phones either. So there is that part. We didn't have any of that shit growing up. But it's not even just cell phones. It's the chatting. There's always that one group of kids chatting it up in the fucking theater. Yeah. Just you're like, hey, come on, man. Like you said, you're paying. You could pay. Like if I take a girl that I'm dating to a theater, you could easily drop $100 just for 2 tickets and fucking concession.
100%.
I'm not paying $100 to sit there for you as the individual to treat this like it's your fucking living room.
Exactly.
And you're going to fucking sit there and talk and fucking 100%. Text and all this bullshit.
I could not agree more. And that kind of etiquette, I won't go off on a tangent here, but you know, I jog, you jog. So maybe you experience this, although you do a lot of trails. But so, you know, I'm jogging and there's a trail by me, but of course I also have to jog on the sidewalks too. I'm not downtown Toronto. I mean, and so I'm jogging and it blows my mind. It's something that I call sidewalk etiquette. Now I'm jogging and I'm jogging and there's 2 people who are on the sidewalk and they're walking towards me. They're way off in the distance, like, I don't know, 50 yards. You know, they're walking towards me. I'm running towards them. I move over to my right. And I would expect it takes 3 seconds for one of the 2 to just kind of move over as well and let me pass. And, you know, every now and then they do, but more often than not, they don't. And I got to go up onto the hill or whatever and walk around. And there are many times where I will be running and I have no bones about it. I'll be running and, you know, they're walking. And I'm like, yeah, you're going to want to move out of the way. Like, get the fuck out of the way. Just move behind your partner for a second and move back. I do it all the time when I'm walking on a sidewalk. Like, Christ. We own the sidewalk? Like, for God's sake.
Get the fuck out of the way, you douchebag. Oh, fuck,
man. It pisses. And the older I get, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Like, get out of the way. I'm jogging. And it's not like I'm jogging down the center. Like, I'm treating it like a road, right? So if I'm jogging, I'm jogging down the center if I'm just jogging. But if I see 2 people coming, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to treat this like a road. So I'm going to get over to the right and let them pass me. And all it takes is the one person to just kind of dip behind their friend for, I don't know what, 0.3 seconds while I jog by. And then they can move back. No, it's just like, and I'm just like, get the fuck out of the way. Like, what the hell is it? Where the hell is sidewalk etiquette now with that kind of shit? Anyway, yeah, I totally know what you mean, man. It's like, oh, it bugs me. And God, if I'm like this at 41, what am I going to be at 61?
If Dave gets to his 60s, man, we're going to be in for a treat.
It's totally true. Okay, let's keep going here with these super chats. Where were we? Let me see here. I know that a bunch more came in, so let me see if I can get these. I don't want to miss these here. Where did I leave off? I left off David Lee Barron. Right, the mask. David Lee Barron follows up with, Dave, have you seen the movie Freddy's Dead? Oh, okay, he's joking. If so, what are your thoughts? I heard it won an Oscar.
We should do that as our next nightmare movie. That would be a fun night.
Dude, I fucking hate that. Yeah, I'm down.
You guys are going to be in for a fucking treat for August, man. We got a great thing we're doing. I hope. At least I hope.
Yes.
Because I really put a lot of thought into the August.
You did.
Yeah, you're appreciate the selection we're doing for the month of August. It's a theme.
I agree.
That we're doing.
Exactly. Bobby Hall says, Dave, if you were hired to make a sequel to TFA, The Force Awakens, how would you explain why Luke secluded himself on the island for several years?
Well, I think there's like 100 things Dave would do different, and that would be one.
I would keep him on the island. Obviously, it ends there. I like that. I would have his emotion. Because if you look at the end of The Force Awakens, when Rey approaches him with the lightsaber, right? Look at Luke's emotion, the emotion on his face when he takes off that hood, and the music is building to that crescendo, right? Look at his emotion. He's feeling something. Whatever Abrams had in mind for that to carry off, because he did give notes to Rian Johnson, who did toss them out. To me, he's not cut off from the Force. He can feel, I would say he's riddled with guilt. and that he knows he should be there with his sister. He probably felt the death of Han Solo. And all of a sudden there's this girl who's there, and he recognizes that lightsaber. It's his call to action. It's his call to return. And I think that, I mean, that's a powerful moment. That lightsaber represents so much. So why is he on the island? Well, I think he can be on the island for a number of different reasons. He had a moment of, I wouldn't have it as the same reason of what Johnson said, because that makes no fucking sense to his character. I don't believe that Luke would have a moment of weakness where he thinks that Kylo Ren, where he wants to kill his uncle, even though he doesn't do it. I don't think that would ever cross his mind, because of everything he learned with his own father. Everything that he went through in the original trilogy doesn't bring that character even in moments of despair or weakness, because I do believe that he is he does possess that. He does possess where he could be, run into some hard times where maybe even he himself needs to, because there's so much weight on him. He's the only Jedi in the universe, and he was trying to teach these things, and something went wrong and all that. But I think that's more what it is. I think it more has to do with maybe, I got to watch the Force Awakens again, and maybe The Last Jedi again. I got to think about this, but certainly there are better ways to do it that would be more indicative of his character and more believable to his character, rather than just he had this moment with his nephew and that's it. Like, that's it. You're done. You're gone. Like, I just don't, okay, a moment, sure, yes, but I just don't believe that when a girl shows up on the island with your father's lightsaber, that, shit, and you don't feel the death of Han Solo. Anyways, it's a whole other thing, but that's a good start anyway. I would start there with my thoughts on that. Hopefully that answers it a little bit. Fixate sends in a $14.99 super chat. Thank you, buddy. He says, how's it going, fellas? I'm with Tony on this film, mainly being it was my first Halloween theater experience. Well, there you go. You see, you got nostalgia there riding. Nostalgia's a strong drug, my friend. Me and a few pals snuck in when we were 13. A damn good time. Scout, you're so fine. You see? And I don't want to take that away from you, but that is an important distinction to make. That it was your first Halloween that you saw in the theater. You were only 13. You snuck in. So when you watch that movie, there is nothing but positive affirmations, right? Positive reinforcement. It's a positive emotional experience for you. So
that's exactly how like I've literally, when I had to justify liking Halloween 4 when I was back in the day when I was doing YouTube stuff, like, I understand what you're talking about, bro, because the first Halloween I ever saw was Halloween 4. It's what introduced me to the franchise. And again, I've shared this story back in 1989. I didn't have access to watch the original Halloween for 4 fucking years because our local mom and pop VHS rental place, they didn't have it available. I don't know if it was a copyright thing or what the fuck. It was not until Blockbuster Video came into town was when I was able to do that. And that was in 93. So I understand where you're coming from, dude, because that's literally the same fucking reaction that I had. And it's why Halloween 4 was my favorite in the franchise for a long time, until I got older. And obviously I began to appreciate the cinematic for the original film and everything that Carpenter Cundy did. You mature with your taste, and obviously I mature and grew as a photographer. So I really even appreciated the first one even that much more as, the older I got, when I understood film and lighting and everything like that. But 4 will always be my favorite sequel. It's number 2. And
there you go. Yeah.
Dude, so I understand, dude, where you're coming from, and you should always hold your ground. If Rob Zombie's Halloween is your favorite, dude, there's fucking nothing wrong with that, and good on you.
Absolutely. Josh McGrath says, Dave, Halloween 4's mask is exactly what Michael is. Blank, pale, emotionless, blackest eyes, devil's eyes, and most of all, it's a Captain Kirk mask. So it raises a question, why do people not like it? Well, I think I'll answer it like this. Freddy Krueger in A Nightmare on Elm Street, the remake, I mean, what's wrong? He's burned. He attacks you in your dreams. It is definitely burned, right?
Yeah, but he looks like a pissed off ant in the remake.
And in Halloween 4, he looks like fucking Michael Jackson.
Sorry, I don't mean to bust out laughing, but I picture the makeup, and I'm sorry.
But that's what I'm saying. It's because yes, it is a blank pale mask, but it doesn't look nearly as good as the original mask, and that's why people don't like it. Yes, Jackie Earle Haley is a burn victim. He's got the glove, he's got the sweater, he's got the hat. What the fuck's wrong with you? Why don't you like it? Because he doesn't look like because he doesn't look like Freddy. Yeah, and so that's part of the reason why it's what we've come accustomed to. It's brand identity, and it's I don't think the 4 mask actually is the worst mask in the series, actually. And it has grown on me like Tony.
As a kid, I loved it as a kid, man. It was my favorite. And then, you get older and you look at that and you're just like, that's just a fucking beautiful mask. I definitely, it's definitely growing back on me again now as an adult, for sure.
That's right. Is it Juron the Man? Is that how you say that? Says Michael Jackson? No. Yeah! Fucking yeah! No. What? No, what I mean is that in a general sense, it doesn't look like that. But there's one scene after he kills Bucky, and the electricity is going bzz, bzz, and it's on his face, and he's like this, he's looking like this, and the light kind of goes on his face, and then it goes away. I'm telling you, man, every time I see that, I'm like, kind of looks like Michael Jackson to me. Kind of looks like Michael Jackson. Not in a general sense through the whole movie. No, of course not. But just that one shot, I'm like, kind of looks a little bit like Michael Jackson. I can bust out the photo for you sometime. So I think that's kind of funny. Let's see here.
Don't you try that trick or treat shit with me.
Don't you try that trick or treat shit with me. Yeah. That's right. Yep, for sure. Let me see here. A happy guy says, hey guys, and Tony, the nurse he killed was Renaud was, how do you say? R-H-O-N-D? Ron?
Oh, is he talking about when young Mike kills or stabs the nurse with the fork in the hospital? Is that who he's talking about?
Maybe, yeah. Neighbor from Laverne and Shirley. When they moved to Hollywood, and she was one of trainers in Police Academy. Oh, well, no. That's the nurse from the security guard. The nurse that he kills with the fork is not the same person.
Okay.
Yeah, he's right. One of the trainers. Yeah.
I can hear the Laverne and Shirley song in my head, but I could not sing you the fucking lyrics.
That's right. Yeah. Josh McGrath says Michael Jackson wasn't white. No, but he became white. That's for sure. Often people said,
right? Isn't that the proper pronoun we have to use? Right?
Oh yeah, maybe. Michael Jackson. I know there. People said obviously he suffered from vitiligo, I believe is the name of the skin condition.
Yeah, no, I get that. Yeah.
Perhaps, but there's strong evidence to suggest that he also dyed his skin too, because he didn't like he had such an awful upbringing with his father and everything, and he didn't like being black. I mean, I hate to say it. He would always say, "Oh no, I'm proud," but he tried to do everything to get rid of that, which is
I want you to shut your channel down.
But I'm not saying anything that's not out there. It's not my opinion. I mean, I'm saying that things that people who are close to him who have said, like they're in documentaries and shit, and all that kind of stuff, right? So it's one of the reasons why people feel that he had so much plastic surgery is to get rid of that, the nose, and to get rid of, and to make him more white looking. It's unfortunate because he was a really handsome dude. He was a fucking beautiful man back in the, when he was obviously a very tortured soul.
Thriller.
Yeah, good looking dude, man, but. Just that whole Michael, it's such a sad case. But anyway, Daniel Harrell, guys, what's your opinion on Scorsese? Oh, I love Scorsese. Come on, Scorsese, right?
Scorsese, man.
Yeah, it's Martin Scorsese, man. Taxi Driver, Raging Bull, fucking
Wall Street.
Yeah.
Wall Street, whatever. Fucking
The Wolf on Wall Street. Yeah. Or Wolf on Wall Street. Yeah. Great stuff. Brandon Gregory sends in a super chat and says, a bit of trivia for you. Halloween 3D script penned by Patrick Farmer. Yes, I remember this. Actually had Laurie and Michael teaming up to kill people. Absolute trash. Oh, really?
Really?
I didn't realize it had that in it. That's so bad. Levi IAL, I don't know how to say that last name, buddy. What happened to Michael's parents in the original 1978 film? I can't remember the exact scene they mentioned it in, but I read it was a car accident. Did they say that in the book? I don't read anything in the book. Okay, well, this is the thing. Here's why it doesn't matter what happened to his parents when you watch the original film. Even when you watch the first 2 movies. I'm going to make a case of why it doesn't fucking matter. Ready? Here we go.
All right, I'm ready to go.
The original movie takes place in one night. And so now, apart from the 1963 opening, right, where we see his parents, you fast forward to 1978, Michael's been condemned for 15 years. When Michael escapes that night and then Halloween begins, because everything, Halloween 1 and 2, everything happens in one night, you can assume then that, you know, maybe somebody from the sanitarium called his parents. Like, do you remember when Dr. Mixter or the nurse was like, you know, we're trying to get a hold of your parents, Lori. They were at the same party that Dr. Mixter was, but they're not there now and they're not at home. So, but we never see your parents. We never see your parents ever again, except from at the beginning of the first movie, because everything's happening in one night. So all the events that are happening are very confined and close together. So it's likely to assume that maybe somebody from the sanitarium did call Michael's parents if they're still alive. Maybe they're not. I know that in the book it says something like, I think it says in the book they died in a car accident or something, but in the actual movie, I don't think it's ever mentioned, right? So, you know, you can watch the movie and you can be like, well, maybe they were called, but we never see them because there's not enough time, because we're only seeing this one night. If the movie had taken place over several weeks and his parents don't show up and they're alive, that's weird. That's strange, because it happens over like a week. So his parents, you could think his parents would eventually show up, but maybe his parents are on the road and they're coming to Haddonfield. Maybe they don't live in Haddonfield anymore. Maybe they live in...
They're off drunk with Loomis somewhere.
Yeah, maybe, right, maybe. So I think whatever happened to Michael's parents, it's not out of the realm of probability to assume that, well, yeah, the sanitarium, if they're alive, again, this is the movies we're talking about, they probably got a phone call. Maybe they don't live in Haddonfield. Maybe they live in fucking Florida, you know, and maybe they're like, okay, you know, we're on the first plane out of here. But because the movie takes place in one day, we don't see them get there, you know, and we don't see them arrive, you know, same with Lori's parents.
And I also think a lot has to do with the time too, because, and I've mentioned this before, and there's nothing wrong with where our mindset is now with movies and, you know, needing explanation and everything has to be perfect.
That's true.
We just didn't really think about this shit back in the day. Like, you didn't think about, well, like, where did Michael's parents go to and stuff like that. That's been more of a new thing. You know what I mean? Like, with my group of friends in horror movies, when I finally got to see Halloween, and obviously Halloween 2, we never really talked about it. You know what I mean? Like, we never, you know, we weren't doing, you know, theory videos and shit like that back in the day. We were just like, man, you know, like, none of this. So our thought process and thinking now of like needing more explanation, that's more of a modern movie.
Tony brings up, you bring up a really good point, because there wasn't the platform to dissect. No. Nobody cared, right?
No one cared. We just had fun with it, man. We were just like, hey, another Halloween. Let's have fun.
You just watch the movie. But now there is a platform where where these movies and these stories are under the microscope. And everybody is looking at it with a fine-tooth comb, because we're inundated with it. And when you run out of things to think about because you've analyzed everything, people start to analyze shit that nobody even thought about analyzing, right? You know what I mean? I'm not suggesting that people haven't thought about this. They have. But that's what I mean. So anyway, the point I'm making is that I don't think it matters, and I don't think they thought it matters, because both movies happen in one night. And there's not enough time. Like, again, I go back to Lori's parents, right? It's assumed that the nurses, I assume, would have continued to try calling home to get Lori's parents on the line, right? And eventually they would have gotten a hold of her parents, or whatever the case is, right? But we never see her parents come to the hospital. We see Lori in the back of the ambulance being transferred to, and we would assume that a few hours later her parents would have shown up at another hospital wherever she was, right? It's the same with Michael's parents. If they're alive, and again, it's different from the book. If they're alive, we would assume that his parents probably were notified at some point, and they're on their way. But everything happens in such a short period of time that we just never see that eventuality of them arriving. So
yeah, we don't know.
You know,
well, then again, I mean, it is daylight when she's being escorted onto the ambulance at the end. It's never really clarified how much passage of time is from the moment the ambulance, pick up Lori at the Doyle house and take her to Haddonfield Memorial Hospital, and Michael on pursuit to Haddonfield Memorial Hospital and doing his shit there and wrecking shit. Right. I mean, I always interpreted that a long period of time, that you can tell by just when you watch, especially now that I'm older, when I was younger, I could never pick up on it. But like, there's certain scenes like when Mr. Garrett, the security guard, when he's walking around the ground, Garrett,
yeah,
Garrett, fucking Janet, though she was hot. But you can tell when he's walking around in the storage facilities and you're listening to the ambient sound, that's really fucking late at night. That's almost like you're creeping into the early morning hours.
Oh yeah, for sure it does. Yeah. Most of Halloween 2 takes place after midnight, for sure.
That's what I always imagine. I always imagine like Halloween night, like Halloween when shit happens at the end of the first film. I've always imagined that takes place somewhere between that 8 and 10 o'clock hour, and that everything in 2, at least a couple hours has gone by, even though they never really said how much time.
For sure. I think when Loomis shoots Michael off the balcony, it's probably like, 10:30 at night. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, for sure. And then most of Halloween 2, and then when she's wheeled to the hospital, maybe it's, 11:15, something like that. You know what I mean? And then most of Halloween 2 takes place in the wee hours overnight. I know technically it's November 1st, but it's still Halloween night, and then it breaks in the morning. But anyway, let's move on here because we got to wrap this up. Let me see. Bobby Hall. Hey, Bobby, how's it going, buddy? Thank you for the super chat. Bobby says, D&T, what is your opinion about the shot in H-18 that shows Michael closing the trunk? I don't like it. He looks like a hitman in a Tarantino movie. I like the creative choice of the shot, but I think I would have done it at night. And I think if you do it at night, you maybe you get rid of the Tarantino hitman vibe, and because I actually think the whole scene with them being killed in the stall should have been at night. I think that would have differentiated it and separated a bit from H2O and Rob Zombie's Halloween in terms of the stall scene. I know the stall scene in Zombie's film happens at night, but lighted a bit differently. So it's kind of dark in there or whatever. And
backlights of the car, the red lights or something that you could use to shine off of the mask. So you can use a lot of ambient light.
Have a street light off in the corner.
Meaning natural lighting of the car, or like you said, the street light.
Yeah, exactly. And just shine like one side of his face. He closed, because that's the last time we saw him. The last time we saw Michael Myers, apart from the beginning with the say something, apart from that, the last time we saw this version of Michael in the jumpsuit with the mask on was when he was lying on the lawn of the Doyle house.
Based on this timeline, yeah, I got you.
Right, exactly, yeah. And so what I think would be cool is that when we see him again for the first time, he closes that trunk, and it's, oh my God, it's the Shape. You know what I mean? He closes the trunk during the day. It's a cool shot. I like the creative choice, but I think it could have been more impactful. So I agree with that. Yep. Kevin Brock sends in a super chat. Thank you. Kevin says Nirvana or Nirvana, depending on how you want to say it, or Alice in Chains. I'm not too familiar. I mean, I know who Alice in Chains is, but I don't really listen to them, so I'm going to go with Nirvana.
Comes the rooster. I can't sing like Alice in Chains or what's his name there? I forget the lead singer. He died too a while back. But I mean, Nirvana is my second favorite band of all time. So, but Alice in Chains is good shit though. Rooster's a fucking phenomenal tune, man. It's a great tune from the 90s.
David Coe sends in a $4.99 super chat. Tony, I apologize if someone already asked you this. I just entered the chat. Have you seen the Terrifier 2 teaser? Looks like no shortage of carnage.
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Oh, okay. All right. I have seen it. Okay. You can,
okay when I can come back.
Yeah. No, you can come back. Okay. You can come back.
Yeah, I can't see the super chats either. No, I haven't seen it yet. I'm going to watch it after we do our stream tonight. So cool. I don't know anything. I'm excited. We've got to do Terrifier. We do.
Maybe I'll reach out to
that could be we could save for like the month of October.
Yeah. Bobby Hall sends in a $4.99 super chat. Thank you again, Bobby. Says it's kind of cool that the release years of Green's Halloween trilogy are the 40th anniversaries of the first 3 Halloween movies, 78, 81, 82.
They had to delay it. That's right. Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Because of delay it. That's you're right.
Actually, that is the only reason for the coronavirus pandemic, was just so they could do this.
Right.
That's it. That's it. Can you imagine? That's it, folks. Oh, it's true. Oh, it's true. All right, I think I'm caught up here, but hang on a sec. Todd Fayer. Yes, Todd Fayer. Very generous super chat again, Todd. Hey, Dave, do you think Rob Zombie is a better director than Gordon Green, who directed Crapfest 18? Oh, Todd. I will say...
in the overall spectrum?
In the overall spectrum, no. I think David Gordon Green's a better director. Yeah.
It depends on how you approach it, though, because isn't Gordon Green mostly known for comedy shit, not horror?
No, he's done a couple of dramas, and he did that thriller Joe with
that's right. It's right.
Nicolas Cage. Yeah.
Right. God.
I think David Gordon Green is far more versatile.
He's got more range, for sure.
Yeah. So I would say, in that sense, he's more talented. But
horror aspect, I would give Zombie a little bit of the edge on the horror aspect.
Yeah. Well, I guess because of what he's done, but he's a very niche area. You know what I mean? So I'll be curious to see if Green does any other horror when he steps away from the. You're down there. I'm looking up here.
How far they're pushing this kills thing, because they keep hyping it up that it's the most like bloodiest and goriest.
They do.
Scariest.
They do. All right.
So I'm very curious to see how far they're going to go with it.
True. Let's go for now just 4 minutes. We'll take this thing to 10 o'clock. The girl's asked at the beginning of the shower scene. When I saw Dr. Sleep, a bunch of punk kids were throwing hats at the screen, jumping through aisles. I lost it and yelled, "Hey," at the top of my lungs. This shut them up. I hate young punks in theaters. Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. Tony,
Gary Rango. Tony, even though you were disappointed with Halloween 2018, but what... I think you added a button you didn't mean to. What made you more mad, the film or what the critics had declared it was the best film? Did you feel burnt by what they said? I don't really, like I've said this many times, I don't watch critics. I take critics' opinion. That's what I think of them, because you're not going to tell, like, every critic's
going to sit there. I got a fart noise on here too.
Every critic's going to sit there and bash Halloween 4 and sit there and give me the 99 reasons why it sucks. And I'm still going to say, guess what? Still my fucking favorite sequel, bitch. So there you go. I mean, so I don't take a critic's opinion at face value. The only people that I'm going to go to for any type of movie opinion, I've said this, is either I'll watch Dave's video or I'll watch Cody Leach or the guys over at Wham. I watch Lee. I haven't watched his videos, Dum Drums. I haven't watched him. Dumbs. I always fuck that name.
Yeah, I know. I've done it too.
I haven't watched this shit in a while, but it's mostly now just Cody, Wham, and Dave, because I'm really trying to build. It's just we're so inundated with YouTube and social media. I'm even trying. Like Sunday, dude, I did no social media. I shut down, and it was like, wow, this is fucking great.
Dude. After
I didn't look. I was like, fuck this. I'm done. And so I'm really backing off from the shit that I'm watching on social media and just keeping it to a very, Wham gives me enough, Cody gives me enough, and Dave gives me enough. I don't need to go anywhere else.
There you go. Yep. No, there you go. A couple, they're trying to keep us longer. They just keep sending in super chats. Jim Soretto, D&T, I just seen an ad on Google from Screen Rant saying Halloween Kills is Michael Myers versus Haddonfield residents. Websites are milking any detail. Oh yeah, I saw that too. That's it. It's an interview with David Gordon Green. The Film Addict, $4.99 super chat. Hey Tony, hey Tony, do you have a favorite scene from the '89 Batman? Small scene, but driving to the Bat Cave is my favorite with the Elfman music.
Mine with the Elfman music always is the iconic ending as that fucking camera starts rising up and that episodic music is going, and then you see the bat symbol and you see Keaton there and it fucking just a little tiny wave of the cape, and I'm just like, fucking love that scene.
Yes, exactly. Kevin Brock says, does Dave McRae pee? No, Dave McRae does not pee. He urinates. DMT Infinity says, does Dave ever take a leak? Nope, I urinate. Zach Gaxiola says, do you think Indiana Jones 5 is necessary? Well, it's not necessary. I'm just sad that they never got their act together earlier, because really at this point I'm like, Harrison Ford's going to be 80 in 2 years. Let it go. I hate to say it, but I think it's time to let it go. Because what is an Indiana Jones movie with an 80-year-old Ford? It's like, it's not going to be the believability of an 80. Listen, he's in great shape, but Indiana Jones, part of the Indiana Jones is the rustle, the tussle, the swashbuckling. the adventure. And you would have to change. Listen, I'm not saying they couldn't make a great Indiana Jones movie, but it would be a different kind of Indiana Jones movie. It would be more of like a spy thriller, or, you know, he wouldn't be leaping from tall buildings, and not that he ever did, but I just mean, I'm trying to paint a picture of the adventure side of it. Like, he's got his whip and he's punching guys, you know, and I mean, what the hell is he going to do? Be punching 30-year-old guys? I mean, you know, he's in great shape. He's in great shape.
Indiana Jones guy. Would you feel if they were to reboot it with
don't say Chris Pratt.
Yeah, Chris Pratt. Or just curious. I've never, I don't know if I have heard your opinion, or maybe I have, but I'm just don't curious.
I'm not saying that it's just that Chris Pratt, everybody glommed onto Chris Pratt because somebody photoshopped his head on Harrison Ford's body from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, and all of a sudden everyone's like, yeah, Chris Pratt. I would have loved it, and I don't think it's too late. I don't think it's too late because he's still young enough, although Harrison Ford was he was 39 when he did Raiders of the Lost Ark. So this gentleman, I've said this before, is I think about 10, maybe 11 years older than that now. But I always thought, and I sincerely mean this, because I think he's got the looks, I think he's got the swagger, not that Chris Pratt doesn't, but Chris Pratt is too frat boy to me. He's too jockish to me. That doesn't mean that he couldn't play Indiana Jones and maybe sell me on it, but everything I've seen from Pratt, sorry?
Come on, man, he's Star-Lord.
Well, that's my point, but he's too, I just see too frat boy. For me, I always thought a really good Indiana Jones would have been Hugh Jackman. Because I think Hugh Jackman's got, he's got the looks, he's got the physique. I can totally believe that he is a professor.
In natural accent?
You know what? Sure, why not? Why not? With his Australian accent? Sure, why not? That might be my...
I can totally picture that.
Why not? I mean, if they wanted him to be a American, okay, fine, because Indiana Jones is an American character. So if you wanted him to be American, that's okay too. Obviously. But what I like about him is that he's handsome. I totally can believe that he is a university educated archaeologist. You know, I can totally see him with the ladies and fucking put on that hat and that jacket. I can see him swashbuckling and leaping and punching. And, Chris Pratt to me just seems a little too college jock. Hugh Jackman, on the other hand, I can just feel it a bit better, you know?
I get what you're saying, because you can see that contrast of,
yes,
of Hugh Jackman in the classroom teaching kids. He's all got the professor glasses on, all like nice. And
yes,
the action guy and hanging from and shit. You know what I mean?
Yes. And listen, hey, Google, how old is Hugh Jackman?
He's got to be in his mid-40s.
He's 51.
Oh, he's 51.
So he's still in great shape. He's young enough that you could do 3 movies with him, a trilogy. You'd have to do it like, I'm just playing a game here. Like, you release the first one 2022. You release the second one 2025. You release the third one 2028, let's say. Like, they'd have to be relatively over the course of like 6 or 7 years. But he's young enough that you could believe, and he's in good shape, that he could be 51 years old, but in the movie he's 48. Like, he's still young, and you can believe that he can take on bad guys. You can believe that he can throw down with a couple of guys, and it's believable. I love Harrison Ford. He's my favorite actor of all time. I love him. Like, he's my favorite actor of all time. But he's 78 years old, and he's in good shape. But he's at a point now, and he wasn't at that point in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. He was on the verge, but it's like, okay. I mean, listen, there's a joke in Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull when Shia LaBeouf says, what are you, like 80? Yeah, he almost is now. So it's kind of like, I don't know. It's hard. It would have to be a different Indiana Jones. It would be more about his wit and his smarts. And maybe there's a little bit of a tussle that he gets into with somebody. But are we really going to have 80-year-old Indiana Jones in his leather jacket and his whip and his hat? Come on, motherfucker. I mean, it's hard to believe. But Hugh Jackman, right now, I'm telling you, nobody talks about this because he's so identified with Wolverine. And I understand it. I get it. And I know some people have said, Dave, have you seen Logan? Yes. I mean, Harrison Ford. Yeah, but listen, Hugh Jackman wasn't 80 in Logan. He was like 48 in I mean, he wasn't that much older than me in Logan. So, I mean, yes, he's playing an older Wolverine, but it's not like he's 80 in Logan. You know what I mean? It's different. Well, if Hugh Jackman can be, in Logan, Harrison Ford. No, that's different. Indiana Jones could be Logan, could be his dad, So, I mean, it's very different. But I think Hugh Jackman right now, nobody talks about this. I think he could do it. I think he could do it.
I agree.
And I think people would walk away going, wow. And I think he would bring a class to the role, integrity. You just got to get the right filmmakers and the right script. And I never thought I would say that. Harrison Ford will always be my Indiana Jones. Always.
Oh, yeah.
But I think there might be something there. Chris Pratt, I don't know, whether it's Star-Lord, Jurassic Park, I just see frat boy. He seems too collegey. He seems like somebody who would be in, Henry Jones's, Indiana Jones's archaeology class. He doesn't seem like he'd be the professor. But Hugh Jackman does. And I kind of buy it. I don't know. Anyway, let's get through these. Is there anything else you wanted to say on that?
Oh, well, Indiana, I've never even seen,
true.
I've seen bits and pieces of the Indiana Jones stuff, but I've never actually watched them from start to finish. You know what I mean? I've seen like little stuff. I do gotta watch those.
Yes. Reese Wilson for the channel. Thank you so much, Reese. Really appreciate that, man.
Appreciate it.
And Jamie Visha, am I saying that? Love your energy. For it's me, Billy. Just watched Black Christmas and liked it. I actually like zombie spin on Halloween. More realistic. All the gore wasn't needed, but story made sense. Like I said, what people love about it is what people hate about it. Tony, you pick the final one here tonight.
You're putting the final one on me.
I'm putting the final one on you, you son of a bitch.
All right, let me see. Let me see who we haven't gotten to tonight. I honestly wasn't prepared for that. So if you guys get something in, Dave wants to answer it while I look for the question. Go ahead. I was like closing it down.
Oh, sorry, man. Okay.
No. It's cool.
No, you do. I mean, hey, it's your show too, man.
I don't mind. Most of these are just responding to what we're saying.
Some music.
You got the.
Play some music while he's searching. I played this while.
I didn't realize how young. By the way, speaking of age, that John Saxon, when he made Nightmare on Elm Street, he was only 36. I actually thought he was like in his mid 40s when he made that movie.
Was he 36?
He was 30. Well, because he was 83. Nightmare came out in 84. So he's about 36, 37-ish, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a lot younger than I thought.
So 10, 20, 30. No. Wait, no. 30 years would bring him 90. So that'd be 53. So he was 52, 40, 49, 48. He was 47.
No, he was 83 when he died.
Yeah, he was 83 minus 30 years.
Minus 30. Because Nightmare on Elm Street came out 36 years ago.
Right. So 83 minus
40,
36. 83 minus 36.
I was right. He was 47. Why did I think 36?
Yeah.
I need to go to bed.
He was 46 or 47 in Elm Street.
Yeah, my blunt was laced Jim Salerno. Not seeing any questions, guys. So I think we got them all.
We got them all? All right.
I think I was trying to find a really good one for us. You know what? Why don't we tell the kiddies what we're giving them for the month of August?
Take it away, Tony.
Okay, cool. So there's nothing going on. This was just like, thinking, I want to, especially a lot of the young generation, I want you guys to really, begin to expand your horror films, because there's so many great horror movies out there beyond just the core ones that.
Agreed.
Look, I love talking about Michael. He's my fave. He's the top of, the mountain.
Top of the food chain. Yep.
Freddy, Jason, Chucky, all of them, Ghostface, but there's so many great ones. And I started to think I wanted to do something for a month, and take it back old school. So I thought of this idea of why don't we do a full month tribute to 1970s horror film?
Yes.
So That's what we're going to do with classic films like Hills Have Eyes, Last House on the Left, Carrie, the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We are going to do Black Christmas again, but we're doing it as a special. Dave will share that with you guys at a later. That's actually going to be a two dudes double feature special. So that was the idea. We want to help towards, especially that night when we do the double feature with what we're going to pair Black Christmas. Actually, I love what we're pairing Black Christmas up with personally.
Yes.
That's gonna be a good night. That all the super chats of that night will go towards the It's Me Billy production, and I just think it will be cool to do this because, again, like I said, I love talking and doing the big wigs, but big guys. But there's so many great horror films out there that you know. I hope you guys join us and come to watch those films with us on those nights. Really fucking good movies. Yeah,
and the thing is too is that now. You're not having deja vu. Tony and I did watch Black Christmas this past Christmas, but because the It's Me Billy, sorry?
We didn't do it as a double feature like we're doing.
No, that's right. And the Indiegogo campaign for It's Me Billy does end September 2nd, I believe, or 3rd or something like that. So we wanted to have a Black Christmas, double feature of what's the movie we're doing with it?
Doing it with Last House on the Left.
Last House on the Left, original.
Everything, by the way, everything we're doing, the titles I gave you, we're not doing Hills Have Eyes remakes. It's the original Wes Craven. Carrie, it's the original Carrie. Texas Chainsaw, we're doing the original. We've done the remake, now we're doing the original.
Right, exactly.
House and it makes sense. I knew we were going to do a double movie night, and it just makes sense to close out August a few days before your
agreed
ends, man, and just fucking especially doubling it up with fucking because you all know fucking Black Christmas and just how much of a disturbing movie. Now when you juxtapose that to Last House on the Left and how much that's a disturbing fucking movie, that is one fucking good night of horror films.
Exactly. Yep. No, I could not agree more. It's a great lineup. I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And then we're going to do a tribute to Rob Zombie in September just for Dave.
Hey, that's going to do it for episode 80 of Two Dudes and Some Bullshit. If you want to follow Tony Michael on Instagram, his links to his Instagram page are below his window there. Tony Michael Photo and Tony Michael Pics with 2 X's. If you want to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, mine are right below me, at Dave McRae 79 on Twitter, at The VoiceMann with 2 N's on Twitter. On Instagram, it's Dave McRae 79. I think I said that right. Who fucking knows? We've been going for 3 hours here. It's been a long stream. Tony, any last things you want to say?
You're drunk Loomis now.
Fuck. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock a.m. for McRae Live. Make sure you tune into that. Guess that's it. You done?
Later, guys.
Later. In the meantime, in between time, cheers.